or, send a text or something, feel free to walk outside, come back in whenever, um, whenever you're done. You're not gonna interfere with anything that we got going on in here. Thank you for coming out, everyone. It's probably gonna be a really long meeting. We have a lot on the agenda to go over, so, be patient with us. We still got about 3 minutes, 3 minutes left. If anyone needs to step out or anything, we'll get ready here in about 2 minutes. So.
Oh, really?
And we call it a code red to the front.
Yeah, this is, I think they're just licking each other. They want to hit you.
And the moms, one mom was hitting the other kid.
Oh.
And the other mom got hitting the other mom.
You just step back, but you don't want to let them do it. I'm out of here. They don't pay me enough for this.
We got a lot of them.
They don't pay me enough for this.
We did enough of that working, in the jail.
Also have a TMO reason revenue. Yeah.
All right, guys, it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and declare a quorum, and we, please, everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. I will memorize that before I'm done. Okay, so item C here, announcements on disclosure of conflicts of interest. I don't think we have anything that we need to disclose. Well, item D here, public comments. Do we have anybody signed up for public comments? Okay. Let me just get my timer here. All right, let me see here. Who do we have? Ms. Vanjie? No. Oh, I'm sorry. That's no. No. I'm sorry. Here we go. Amanda, Miss Amanda Garcia.
I wanted to put my name for the agenda item when I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Which agenda item are you waiting for, ma'am?
I just put it down, but there's several that I want to comment on.
Oh, well, I don't. Did you fill out a card?
No.
Okay, that's okay. We'll just, when we get to those items, just let me know. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Let me just make sure I got my phone here set up the way it should. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to reports. Portillo, Brown, and Hill, LLP CPA, Are they going to be on Zoom or
They're
they?
gonna be on Zoom.
Okay, can we get them up and running? For anyone that's not familiar, we hired a firm out of Waco, a CPA firm that's been working with Miss Lisa and Miss Betsy to try to reconcile our bank statements, to try to get some audits done. And they're going to talk a little bit about some of the difficulties that they've run into and what their timeline looks like for us on getting caught up with some of these old audits.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
where are they located?
Out of Waco.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Looks like you got somebody in there. A couple of people.
Hello.
Can you make him bigger? You know, like make the screen. Yeah, it's let it look at this little thing there. Can't. This is Mayor Maldonado. I think we've spoken before. Let's see if we can get that screen up. Here we go. Can we get the volume up? Get it up higher, please. The volume. Okay. All right, Kent. I think we got you up now. And see if we can get you the volume up a little bit more.
You probably gotta do it on the computer as well. She already did it.
Yeah, you need to
There it is. Now we can talk.
let me see if we can hear you,
Can you
Kent.
say something?
Got it.
Yes.
That's better.
There it is.
So you guys want to introduce yourselves? We're here with a lot of our community members are here as well, along with our council. On place one, Alderman Huerta, Billy Huertas, Alderman place one. Alderman place two is Becky Veit. And in place three, we have Isaac Dominguez. Place four, we have Alderman Jesse Falcon. And place five, we have Alderman Virginia Garza. We also have our city attorney here, Epi Isasi. We had,
He's still here.
okay. Okay, we got you back. as well as we have, of course, our city administrator, Ms. Lisa Hernandez, and our finance person, uh, Betsy Soto. So if you guys could just introduce yourselves briefly and then let us know what you guys have been working on.
Okay, that sounds great. We'll introduce ourselves and then I'll
Please.
chat for a few minutes about the project we've already completed and then what we've proposed for phase 2. So,
The TV.
my name's Kent Willis. I'm a partner at Patillo Brown and Hill. We are located in Waco, just a few hours down the road from you
The
guys.
TV. The TV
That's where our
volume.
headquarters is at. With me, I have Tracy Adcock. She's the senior manager here at Patillo. And then Lynn Reagan, who's an associate here at Patillo as well. Both of them instrumental to the phase 1 project that we worked on with you guys. So happy to have them here. We're all here to answer questions and make sure we provide the information that you need for this project.
Great.
Just to tell you a little bit about who we are, and you probably know a little bit, but we're a public accounting firm headquartered in Waco. While we're a few hours down the road, we work with local governments all over Texas, including Nueces County, which is down the road from y'all. But cities, counties, and school districts from your area to Beaumont, Texarkana, to Midland, Odessa, all over the place in between there too. So a lot of experience with auditing and accounting for local governments, which I think will help with this project, and it already has a little bit. So just a quick little tidbit about who we are. Mr. Maldonado, I know you met some of our teammates at the TML conference. I'm sure they told you a little more detail about the firm. So I'll switch over and talk a little bit about the project. What I want to do is just explain, kind of give you overview of what we've already done and completed, and then I'll switch and talk about what we'd like to help the city of Odem going forward. So this project we broke up into 2 phases. Phase 1 was sort of information gathering and building processes. It really was our team doing the bank reconciliations for the city for October 2021. That was the kind of the first month in your records where bank recs hadn't been fully completed. So, and I don't have the exact count of accounts in front of me, but 8 or 9, 10 bank accounts roughly worth of reconciliations that need to be completed. And the first one's always the hardest. It's getting to know you guys. We got access to your systems. We talked to Lisa and Betsy quite a bit, basically weekly for several weeks at a time. But it's getting to know you, getting to know your systems, getting access to your systems, and building out the bank recs, kind of the work papers and things we would use to go forward with that. So time consuming for sure, but the time spent in that first phase 1, we think will certainly pay off in phase 2, where we move forward and complete the bank recs beyond October 2021. So we finished phase 1 a few weeks back, sent over everything we built out, all the work papers, all the support, all that information that's the city of Odem's to have, and that's how that would be for this whole process. This is all your stuff. But we sent it over to you guys as sort of a baseline for you to see what work we did. Phase 1 went well, and as I mentioned, phase 2, going from there, the idea, and that's kind of what the proposal you have in front of you is the first leg of phase 2 is let's finish fiscal year 2022's bank recs, work through all of those, and kind of thought about breaking phase 2 into each fiscal year, do it in chunks, so that our team can, especially with this first fiscal year, let's get 11 more bank recs under our belt and figure out how do we get the pricing for this project to work well for your budget. We're trying to estimate how much time each month will take. We could be over, we could be under. And so by breaking phase 2 into each fiscal year, fiscal 22, 3, 4, and 5, we'll be able to get that price that's reflective of the time that it takes, kind of honed as we go through the whole project. So we're trying to be very conscious of your budget as we go through this project and make sure it's something that you guys can fit in. So talking about the project as a whole, the bank rec project is, it can be time consuming. It kind of depends on what we find. So there could be some unknowns throughout the project, but if you kind of rewind back to October 2021, back when the last bank rec hadn't been completed. I don't know how many of you guys, if you guys have any accounting background or finance background yourselves, I know you talk to your staff quite a bit, but for the city staff back then, doing the bank recs is not just a month-end, couple-hour project. It's time-consuming. To stay current on those things, it's really a daily project where you're checking cash receipts, watching the bank account, you're monitoring those bank accounts daily, and then when you get to the month end, you spend hours and hours really to do those bank recs. So even when you're in your normal processes, keeping the bank recs moving, it's time consuming, certainly for your staff. So we think we can be efficient as we move through this project. We've got some software tools and things that will help us be very efficient. But I kind of want to give you that perspective that the bank rec for your pooled account and for all the other accounts is pretty time consuming project for each month. And then if you add up all the different months that we'll have to do, it's a big project. So just kind of wanted to put that into perspective. So that's the goal. We completed phase one. It gave us a great understanding of how we can move forward into phase two. We plan to break phase two into smaller chunks so we can give you guys some insight into the budget to make sure that the pricing fits well within your budget and works well for us as well. And the proposal that we sent over for 2022, I think, is a great reflection of that, at least as what we know today. And I would really like to answer questions if I can explain any of that better. Sometimes I speak accounting a little too much, so if I can explain something better or answer a question, I'd love to do that at this point.
So does phase one and phase two, does that allow for us to get more audits completed? Or are you gonna have a phase three? Because I know we're behind right now. And then last year's audit wasn't completed because I was told that the previous audits weren't completed, so we can't start doing those. So the code just continues to get deeper. So does phase one and phase two allow for that to happen?
That's a good question. So this project is really just accounting for the bank reconciliations at this point. I'm glad you asked that. So we do audits for a lot of cities in Texas. When I start an audit, if the bank recs aren't complete, we're going to hit the brakes. The bank reconciliations are the foundation for your general ledger. Those have to be done before you can get ready for an audit. So completing phase two for fiscal year 2022 would be the first step to getting ready for fiscal 2022's audit. There might be some other cleanup you may need to consider under general ledger, but the bank recs is the first thing that you have to take care of before you can begin prepping for your 2022 audit. So just to reiterate, phase two that you've got in front of you as the proposal is for fiscal 22's bank recs. That would be the first step to getting audit ready. And then there may be some other type of audit prep that you may need to do to continue on to get audit ready from there. That's something we'd be happy to help with as well.
So how about
your question?
For the 2021 that you guys just completed the phase one, would that be ready for audit or to get ready for audit or not? Or you have to finish 2022?
So that was just for the 1 month that they completed.
Oh, just for the 1 month of October?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm saying, so you're gonna have different phases. So as we complete these phases, then eventually we'll be ready to go to start catching up on some of these audits, correct?
Could you repeat that last?
Because
part of
you
your
have,
question? I missed that.
this is phase two. You already did phase one, right? You completed phase one,
Phase one.
right?
Phase one is done. It was just 1 month of bank recs, and it was really just so we could figure out how long is this going to take, so that we could put together the price for the next phases. Yes, sir.
So this one is phase two, right? After you do
And the
this,
proposal you've got is phase two. Yes, sir.
after you do this, there's gonna be another phase, right? Or no?
That's the way I'm thinking of it. Is phase two is going to be broken up into smaller chunks, one for each fiscal year. So what you've got in front of you is for fiscal year 2022. We got a price set for that. That price won't change. For fiscal year 2022 bank recs, and then we would send you the new price for 23, 4, 5, and so on. Just to give you some both sides understanding of how long this project may take.
And then I had a quick question.
Yeah,
So
sure.
the 3,000 that's on there, so is that 3,000 per month that's reconciled, or is it August 2026, 3,000, and work completed in August? Or is it for like the
Sure.
November 2021 bank rec? Is that 3,000, and the December 2021
Oh, yes.
is 3,000? Okay,
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
that's
So
right.
for each monthly batch of bank recs that need to be completed, that's the fixed price for that.
Okay,
Unless, something super weird pops up that makes it more difficult.
okay.
You got it?
So Ken, how far in are we going to have to be before we can actually start working on audits for those fiscal years, 21, 22, and going forward?
Betsy, do you mind repeating that? You're pretty clear, but sometimes I can't quite make out.
He wants to know when we'd be able to get ready for audit, like at what point, which I think the answer would be whenever we have a full year of bank recs.
Agreed. So that would be the first step. Definitely get the bank recs done. We've estimated 4 to 5 weeks for the finished fiscal 2022's bank recs, assuming things go to plan. From there, or really before we finish those bank recs, we can start talking about audit prep and what that looks like and what you need. It's really hard to estimate without knowing a little more detail about what else needs to be cleaned up and how much help you would need from us. Hard to estimate, really, but I would think, certainly by the end of the year, you'd be audit ready for 2022, assuming there's nothing wild. That's probably a bit of a stretch, really. It's hard to estimate right now.
And then when would be, if you could just tell them, when would we be able to move forward for the next fiscal year to try to get caught up?
He wants to know when we would be able to move forward with the next fiscal year to be able to get caught up. Like after y'all finish the 11 months of these, when can y'all move to the next phase?
Oh, for the bank rec phase, the next phase, we would start immediately. Our plan is for Lynn to be pretty much dedicated to working on this project from here on out. So it would be right after the first phase is done, 45 weeks roughly. We would start on it immediately and just keep on trucking as long as y'all have us. We'd be happy to keep pushing along and get this project finished quickly.
And if everything goes smoothly with each fiscal year, each different phase, how quickly could we get caught up with our audits? I mean, what are we looking for as far as timeline goes?
That we would probably have to get with the other CPA. He wants to know how fast we would get our audits done.
Yeah. It would somewhat depend on, just to be clear, we would not be able to do your audit if we're doing this cleanup work. We wouldn't be independent at that point. Be happy to help you find an auditor. We're pretty familiar with the other firms in Texas. But it would depend on, when can the rest of your stuff get cleaned up, and then when do they have capacity to help you out and do your audit? So kind of dependent on a few different things, really. It would be nice to see you audit ready by the end of the year. Just depends on those things that I just mentioned.
Okay, well, I think that our goal as a council is to be able to move from one to the next. As soon as we're audit ready, get that information to the auditor so they can start auditing that information while you guys work on the next fiscal year. And when that's audit ready, send it to the auditor. That's kind of the plan that we see, so we can get caught up. Because like Alderman Dominguez just said, if we wait, we just fall further behind. And we need to try to get caught up.
Certainly understand. We'd be happy to talk through how that in the midst of doing these bank recs, there's no reason to wait. We can start talking about what audit prep would look like, and when we can start getting that stuff going, for sure. There's no reason to wait till the bank recs are done to start planning that out.
Okay.
Since you work with Nueces County and other areas, can you send our mayor a list of recommended auditors?
We already have one, I think, with engagement. We already have one that I think we have.
Who do we have?
engaged
In Edinburgh.
In Edinburgh.
They're waiting for us. We've already been talking to them. They're just waiting for 2021 and 2022, and we'll send it to them and they'll start auditing it.
Okay. And are you guys working with them, or, I mean, they need to kind of work together.
Okay.
They need to know who
Yeah,
they're
we'll let them
working
know.
with.
Well, no, because they're separate.
Yeah, but they got to get the information to them. So if they don't know each other, I mean, like with our previous CPA, he knew the gentleman from the Valley that did our last one.
Mhm.
So he was able to get that information
Right.
over to him. So we need Kent to get,
Okay.
so like that, we can move the process along and not be waiting.
That'll work.
Uh,
Can you still send our mayor a list of recommendations that you have?
For auditors,
Like, of accounting firms, auditors?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure can.
That'll help, just in case.
So if you could answer just what has been the most difficult thing for you guys working with our accounts right now? I mean, that you've encountered. Betsy?
What's the most difficult thing that y'all encountered when working through our bank recs?
That's a good question. I would say for that first one, the hardest thing is just getting to know what's going on in Odem, the types of transactions, the systems, getting access to the systems. It was really just kind of the unknown. It would have been really difficult to estimate the amount of time it would take without doing that first month. That was very helpful. I don't know if Lynn or Tracy, if y'all remember a specific type of transaction that was maybe more difficult, but I don't remember a specific transaction or something that was kind of out of the ordinary.
I agree, Kent. It was just really just gathering all the documents. Learning your systems, like Kent was saying, getting access and then gathering all the individual documents was probably most difficult. And so we don't expect all of that going forward unless it was just specific outliers or changes as we go along.
And were you able to get all the documents you needed? Were we able to provide all that to y'all?
Yes, Betsy and Lisa are super helpful throughout the process, trying to juggle all of our requests along with their day-to-day job. Very helpful.
Okay, great.
I'd like to reiterate to what Kent just said, Betsy and Lisa were very helpful, very quick to our responses, very helpful in gathering all the data. So we appreciate it very much.
Great.
Yep.
Great.
Ask them if they had problems with income.
Did y'all have any issues with Encode, or do y'all know any known issues with Encode?
I think we did we? Maybe the only challenge is not being able to go back and post adjustments to older
Right.
fiscal years. That's a bit of a
That's
challenge.
Can't do
It's
that.
not unique to you guys, it's just that's a normal
always
income
been.
thing apparently. So what that means is any adjustments that need to be posted to the general ledger will not be able to be posted that far back. We'll have to kind of account for that in the current fiscal year or FY25. It's doable. We'll be able to track it, keep it clean, but that's a bit of a downside of the software. But nothing specific to you guys, no.
Okay.
That was our main problem right there.
Question, but he only done October 21, only 1 month.
Right.
Yeah.
Recon, so he still got to do the whole 21, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I just,
Betsy, what did we spend in phase one?
I believe it was 6,000.
6,000?
That's not bad.
And I have a question.
Go ahead then.
Looking at these rates, the base is the 3,000, and then each one of the other people, if they, whatever they work on, they have billable hours times that rate, right? Is that the way I'm understanding it?
I think that's
Right.
So they had a question about how the rates, like the fixed price and then the hourly rates. Is the hourly rates just something if
It's a base
something is
rate.
over and beyond scope?
Yeah, that's right. So trying to leave a little wiggle room for really weird stuff that might happen. I know one time you mentioned recently y'all closed all your bank accounts and reopened them.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be a place where it might cause additional work that is outside of what we're estimating for this. We would never start billing you by the hour without talking about it with your team first to make
Okay.
sure, hey, is it something that your team could do? And we won't charge you for it, right? Like, hey, there's these weird transactions that happen this month of October 2023, for example. We could dig into it as PDH and do it for you. It would be outside the scope. Here's why. Or here's the stuff that, and you guys can research it if you have your own time, and kind of keep the budget under control by taking on some of that work yourself. So
Okay.
we would never start billing you without talking about it and giving you that option, of course, if you wanted to kind of do it in-house, do some of the research in-house for maybe an unusual transaction or other irregularities, stuff like that.
Okay.
Does that
Thank
help,
you.
or does that make sense?
That answer. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Any other questions?
Did you want to ask him about item D?
Yes, I was looking at that. Village Green.
So something we have on the agenda for tonight, I'm not sure if we were able to give any advice or pricing or something like that on it. Which was discuss, consider, take action on hiring a firm or investigator to do an internal investigation into financial and misappropriation of funds.
Basically a forensic audit.
Forensic audit, that's something that had came up.
I appreciate you bringing that up. We did see that, and could you, would somebody mind providing some context on, is that just preemptive, or do y'all suspect an issue? Can you share some details on that?
There, you want me to explain it?
Go ahead.
I'd like,
There was an issue in 2019 to 2021, or which one was it?
I think so.
There was like $1.5 million misappropriated in the wastewater treatment plant and out there in the water department.
There
A lot
was,
of the CDs were cashed out.
there,
We're just trying to pinpoint what happened.
there was a lot of revenue added into the
General fund.
city's budget. And our previous CPA was unable to track what the expense, where that money was expended on. So we would like to maybe do a forensic audit and go back and we can find out. I mean, we know that the money was transferred into our general fund, but from our general fund outward, we've been unable to kind of track down documentation and to find out where that money, was spent. I mean, when we had a deficit, our previous CPA said that we had a deficit of like $3.2 million on the books, and he didn't know. One, he didn't know where the money had come from, and he didn't know where the money had gone. So there's kind of a concern there because we haven't had audits going all the way back to 2016. So I don't know if a firm that can do a forensic audit. Obviously, you guys have a lot of work to do on your end when it comes to our account. But we were hoping that maybe y'all could lead us in the right direction.
What fiscal year did you say that occurred in? That transfer of the cash out of the CD?
About 20 From about 2019.
No, I'm sorry, it was 2021 to 2023.
Yeah.
2021 to 2023.
What you working on right now?
I'll be able to catch it with his,
There was like 1 million that was given to a contractor at the wastewater treatment plant. I've got copies of receipts and all that that he was turning in.
Yeah, I think what we just need to do is find if there's a forensic auditing firm that you guys know of that might be able to come in and kind of help us kind of go back and see.
And I think some of it just might just fall out with the bank rec, because
Could be.
I think the money wasn't ever recorded into Encode coming in, and then the money was spent, and so the money was shown that we spent the money went out, but it never showed where the cash came from.
The adjustment, I guess.
And so that's what's creating that crazy deficit.
So,
It's not all
So not-
transactions were recorded.
yeah, that makes sense. So not necessarily that we think it's missing, but just want to have more comfort that it was accounted for correctly in the general ledger.
Well, I mean, that's what we want to find out.
That's what you want to find out, yeah.
And I guess if
So-
the expenses were appropriate. Correct?
Fair point.
I mean,
Fair point.
How much?
That is a good point. Betsy, it is possible that would, at least the accounting of the money coming into the account and leaving, not necessarily whether it was correct, allowable expenditures, but the bank reconciliation process may clear some of that up a little bit in the general ledger. But it wouldn't tell you, that's not what we would be doing here, is we wouldn't be telling you whether the expenses were allowable necessarily. We could look at them and give you some thoughts, but if you're wanting a forensic audit, I could probably get you a short list of some firms that do those. We don't necessarily do those, but it would be something you want to be careful and define the scope. Those forensic audits can kind of scope creep out of what you expected and kind of start costing an arm and a leg at times, but define specifically the time frame of what you're wanting to look at, specifically what your concerns are, what accounts, things like that, to try to keep the scope limited. Unless, of course, you expect that the scope should increase or expand. But
okay.
we'd be happy to talk to your staff and you guys further if we can give some guidance on that.
Yeah, if you could just get us a short list of firms that might be able to do that. And then, of course, when it comes to the scope, we can always get with our city attorney and kind of talk about a scope for that project and what it is that we're actually wanting to get out of the whole experience. So, but yeah, if you could get that to Ms. Lisa, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll see what I can get you.
So I don't think we have any more questions. I think you guys have been doing a great job. I talked to Ms. Lisa pretty much, daily in the afternoons and with Ms. Betsy. And they've kind of kept me, I know you guys were meeting on a weekly basis. So y'all have become pretty good friends up to this point. So I'm glad that they're able to provide all the information that you have been asking for. And thank y'all very much for taking on. I know it's a difficult task, but I think we have with Miss Lisa and with Miss Betsy working together with you guys, I think we'll be able to get caught up pretty soon.
I appreciate that. We really enjoyed working with your team, and they might have enjoyed the break from us over the last couple of weeks. We haven't had it in a few weeks. Maybe they enjoyed that, but no, we really enjoyed working with them, and we'd love to be a part of getting you all back caught up on your audits and kind of back to a more normal situation with your folks. So let us know if there's other questions. You wake up in a cold sweat tonight or whatever, have a question for us, just let us know. We'll be around. So
I appreciate
thanks for letting us chat for a few minutes.
It's budget time, that's how come you haven't talked to them.
Yeah. Thank you, Kit. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Wanna talk about this a little?
About this.
Are we gonna be able to do something with this?
Well,
Budget it maybe later on?
yeah, I think we'll just have to budget it later on because I don't think it's not in the agenda for an action item. It's just kind of a report.
But is he waiting for us to give him the
That's
approval
what
of
I'm
phase
saying.
two?
We gotta-
So,
If he's waiting for us to have an approval on the phase two, maybe a special call meeting or something.
yeah, we'll have to.
put it on there so he can continue.
Yeah, we can, if that's what they're waiting for, we'll just try to do maybe a quick special call meeting, one item, come in, and then, okay. So we'll get
It used
afterwards.
to be done.
Yeah.
Maybe after budget, we get it.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our presentations here. Let's go ahead and get Republic.
Hi, I'm Bob Bradley. I'm the general manager for Republic Services. And been very, very pleased with servicing the city of Odem for many years. And feel like we have a good relationship here and it's been mutually beneficial to both parties. So the contract has a couple of years or about a year and a half, I think, left. And I know we've done this before, but we're here tonight just to tell the city that we are offering them an extension of the contract with with removing the price increase for 2026. And so we would waive the 2026 price increase, just 5 years, or and do an extension with the city. We're happy to work with the city. I think you all know that from the past, and I know we're not on as a discussion or a voting item tonight, but just wanted to put that, get that in front of you all, because I'd like to kind of get this rolling sooner than later, and maybe at the next council meeting we can be on as an action item. So I wanted to get any questions or concerns from the council to anybody.
Bob, for these new houses that are coming up, y'all gonna be able to do it in one day?
Yes. We'll just, if we need to add another truck, we'll add that. Okay. So we've got quite a bit of availability, and we have some new trucks coming on, so that's always good news for us, and something we like to see. So we have a pretty good replacement schedule going on right now, and I'm kind of feeling multiple trucks of multiple types coming, so it'll be a good shape.
So we would be looking at waiving the increase for this upcoming year, so we wouldn't see an increase until 2020.
2032.
No, that's how long the contract would go to. The actual, you wouldn't get an increase. So this would, it depends when we made it effective. So if we waived it and then said at the end of the contract, we do the extension, you wouldn't actually get an extension. You wouldn't get an increase this year, or not.
Okay.
Your next increase would be in 28.
28. Okay.
Are there possibilities of adding like 2 days instead of just having like a 1 day pickup?
So I would say it's cost prohibitive. The better thing to do is add an additional cart. You need an additional
I
cart.
think 40% of our consumers have they have an additional card.
That was discussed whenever they came on board. And a lot of people were upset that, hey, you used to pick up twice a week and now you're only doing one. But it worked out. And then our card is only what, $10?
It's like 11.
11 something, an extra card.
It's
It's always recommended just to get an extra card, whoever wants it.
When we looked at that cost of going twice, it was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge, and it was way too big. I mean, everybody's done used to it.
Yeah, it works out.
We're not sitting. I'm just glad you're not going there.
And then the bulk was changed to every quarter. So
Yeah.
that seems to be, well, I'm not gonna say it seems to be working out because people are just throwing stuff
They are.
whenever, but we do need to get back on track, but we are saving money by doing it quarterly.
Yeah.
And really quarterly should be plenty on brush involved, because
And Corpus does it once a year.
Yeah.
We also got the dump over here.
Right.
Saturday's
Yeah.
always packed.
And I think we've talked in the past about maybe doing like a spring cleaning thing where they can come and dump stuff. You guys will bring some extra dumpsters out there and they can just come and dump, you know.
We'll bring some roll-offs out here.
Yeah. So,
There's like a hurricane in the Gulf. Would y'all come if there's stuff out there, like help pick up brush, like have trucks?
So we were.
Yeah,
we
it's in
were
their
to
contract.
always get those requests, so we tried to, so one of the things with us is we have quite a few brush trucks, the grappler type trucks. And if we see there's a storm, that's kind of, every city calls, like I say, because everybody's along the coast has the same concern. But we have by far the greatest number of trucks to do that. And I don't believe it would be, you know,
I can answer that though. What happens is we piggyback with the county. So the county is the one that coordinates all the brush pickup. The way we did on the last hurricane, we designated an area and everybody was bringing stuff, but the county took it all. They're the ones that handled it. I don't know if they contracted y'all, but they're the ones that took care of it. And they're the ones that claimed it on FEMA and everything.
well, I think anytime we can hold back on an increase, it's always a good thing. It's a win.
win-win.
And you guys were very, very good to us when we were struggling financially, giving us extended time to pay our bills and not penalizing us for that. So you guys have been really good to our city and you know, we'd love to continue working with Republic for sure.
Well, we appreciate your business and appreciate working with everybody here. You know, it's been a good relationship for the whole time. I've been here 4 years, but I don't know how long but for quite a while, we've worked together with the city and we've had a good working relationship.
I just want to say to the public that sometimes the public gets mad and they post on Facebook, oh, I hate Republic, they didn't pick up my garbage and all that, they skip me. But you got to remember that they come at different times. They're not gonna, if they came at 8 o'clock on a Friday, well, the following week, they might come at 7. So you need to put it out the night before.
Depends on the driver.
Yeah.
I know my driver.
Yes.
It's 11, but.
Yeah, so just, I mean, they're good.
Yeah, and a lot of times there's issues, and I think we've talked about it because somebody parked the car too close to the trash can, and they were not going to take a chance of hitting the car, or it was parked in front of the mailbox, and those grapplers, they were afraid to grab the mailbox as well. So when things like that happen, I mean, Miss Lisa's actually sent our maintenance guys out there to just go exchange the trash can, and we'll take their trash can and we'll dump it over here. If it's only one or two people, we try to handle that ourselves internally, just to address the citizens' concern. And but yeah, I know that we've had those issues, and you know, I mean, it's hard for your guys because obviously they don't want to damage somebody's car just trying to grab a trash can, or pull out a mailbox trying to grab a trash can. So, but we try to work ourselves, you know, try to handle some of those things internally ourselves. So. You guys have been doing a great job, and I think we will be probably looking at doing like a spring cleaning once a year thing where people can bring sofas, whatever they want to get rid of, instead of leaving them on the curb. You know, bring them and clean out their garage and you know, throw them out there in the roll-offs, and you guys can come pick them up. So. Again, I appreciate everything you guys do. Well, what I'm thinking about doing is we're going to do the special call meeting for our CPA. We'll go ahead and add you guys to that meeting as well. Maybe we can just go ahead and get this, you know, going sooner than later.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, and thank you all. So if you need anything, you know where to find me.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, Bob.
Actually, on the spring cleaning, that was Isaac Dominguez's idea. And we did it years ago for several years. And Republic would donate actually one dumpster. and we'll pay the rest at a discount. But
Yeah.
that was Isaac's idea, and it worked pretty good.
Yeah.
Good for a
I
long
think-
time.
So we're going to move on to our next report. Ms. Stephanie?
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
So for the months of May, June, and July, we had a total of 184 calls. In May, you had 36 city calls and 25 county calls with total calls of 61. The average response time for the city was 6 minutes, 3 seconds. The average response time for the county was 15 minutes, 5 seconds. For June, you had a total of 21 city calls and 36 county calls, or giving you a total for June of 57 calls total. Your city response time was 6 minutes flat, and then the county response was 12 minutes, 4 seconds. For July, you had 29 city calls, 37 county calls, with a total of 66. You had a city response of 5 minutes, 6 seconds, and county response of 11 minutes, 9 seconds. For the average for all 3 months, city was 5 minutes, 1 second, and county was 13 minutes, 2 seconds.
So I have a quick question. When you guys respond to the county calls, do you guys get reimbursed from the county for those calls, or how does that work? I mean, I know
We don't get reimbursed from the county. From the way I understand our contracts are, is that all flows through the city. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, she's correct. We do get a stipend with ambulance service and with fire service.
I just wanted to see if you guys were receiving anything from the county as well.
No, we
When you
receive
guys-
our subsidies and then we receive whatever
In your second.
the payments for the
Oh, I
insurance.
turned mine in.
Okay, okay.
Get it.
We also had been discussing earlier, as we were discussing our budget. I know a few years ago, we had talked about the new piece of equipment that y'all were gonna bring, because I guess it's, our contract says, every so often, every so many years, I believe.
So I actually got an update on that this morning, and the new ambulance should be rolling out off of the line come mid-October, ready to roll.
Okay, so mid-October. Okay.
What happens if if we don't get it?
I'm sorry?
What happens if we don't get it? Y'all been saying we're gonna get it for years.
This is the only information that I've gotten so far, and I followed up on it this morning because I knew you were coming back to this meeting today.
And do you know why it's been taking so long to, I mean, I've seen,
Well, after COVID, it took a lot to get the productions rolling again, and we had so many ambulances on order. And then with one specific company that does all of our build outs, we actually changed that company, so we should be seeing them a lot quicker than what we had been in the past.
okay. Any other questions, anyone? All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Stephanie, for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for what you guys do. And our next here report is from the fire department. We have somebody here? Okay.
So my name is Ivan Aponte. I'm here with the Odem Fire, obviously. So this is a report for May, June, and July. For calls in May, we had 7 total, 4 out of city, 3 in city. June was a total of 9, 7 being in county, 2 in city. July was 10, 4 in county, 6 in city. Currently, we have 12 active members. Expenses, as you can see, in July, we had $249.88 for fuel. Upcoming expenses, we had a brush tube rear end repair, a total of $1,250. Department paid $1,500, making it a total of $2,750. We had our Jaws of Life, $1,847.20. That's for the annual service. And we also had our bunker gear, a total of $10,980. Odem Fire Inc. Is going to write a check, obviously, for $10,000 to the city for reimbursement on that, and that came from a Flint Hills grant. So total city cost was $980 on that.
Good job.
Yes, sir.
Y'all doing really good in trying to get funds for those fire departments. I commend you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, we just put a budget and that was it. Y'all come a long way. I'm sure everybody appreciates the work and make sure you pass that on to all your firefighters out there.
Will do.
Good job, well done.
Thank you.
Have you got any volunteers with Donna's, she put it posted up there on the bulletin board?
I believe we got 2 members, or soon to be members, hopefully. They just came to our meeting yesterday, we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah.
If you know anybody, we're there.
Is there anything you need from us at that building?
No, not right
Everything
now.
okay?
Yes, sir.
See you about.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Somebody had said something, your ice machine was out?
We recently fixed that.
Oh, you fixed it already? Okay. Okay, because I want to make sure that when you guys go out on the call, especially during this summer, I mean, we'll, knock on wood, we haven't had a whole lot of grass fires, you guys, major ones. So, but I know that you guys, when you guys are out there, we need to make sure that you have what you need to hydrate and stay hydrated. So that's good. Fantastic.
Do y'all have an inventory list of everything that y'all have like in the building over there?
That's a good question. That's probably a question for Chief. You know, he's been there a lot longer than I have. I'm sure he's got something somewhere.
They had done an inventory a couple of years back because there was a lot of equipment, I would say parts that didn't fit anything that we had, any no piece of equipment or anything. And so I'd asked them to just do an inventory of stuff that they just didn't use or wasn't something that we could use. So he should have something for us if you guys reach out to him.
The contents of the building, that's what the windstorm insurance is being based on.
Okay.
So if we could trim that down, it would save a lot in windstorm insurance.
Okay. Well, get with the chief and maybe Ms. Lisa, you guys can go take a walk around and see exactly, you know, what it is that's affecting the windstorm, the cost of our windstorm, and see if it's something that we do need or don't need, you know. So, all right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to move on to the discussion and action items. Item A, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held in June 2nd, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Motion for the minutes.
I have a motion by Alderman Falcon and a second by Alderman Veit. We'll go ahead and open it up for discussion.
Action item 2, which is I. It's the 3rd page. Discuss, consider, and take action to nominate elected official or employee to be a candidate. It says table due to lack of motion, but it's supposed to be motion dies due to lack of.
Yeah, just reword that, Ms. Lisa. The motion just died because there was no, or the action item died.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right, if there's no any more corrections or anything, we'll move with the vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4, place 5. All right, motion carries, just with the, make sure with the change, Ms. Lisa.
Yes.
Okay. Item B, I think we've discussed that also, but I still need a motion if we're going to go ahead and table that. Do I have a motion to discuss, consider, and take action to approve a zone change from residential district single R1 to residential multifamily R3 for the property located at 1205 Voss. Okay, so the motion dies. We have no, the item dies. We have no motion. We'll move on to item C. Discuss, consider, and take action to approve hiring a code enforcement officer and building inspector. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and bring it to the table for discussion.
So we have a motion by Alderman Huerta to bring it to the table for discussion only. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
And a second by Alderman Dominguez. And we'll go ahead and open that up for discussion.
Yeah, I wanted to put that on there because I know we've been discussing the code enforcement. And the previous code enforcer, I understand, was not registered to do it. So I know that there are some code enforcement officers out there that are certified. So you know how small municipalities, sometimes they wear two hats. So I want to see if during this budget, if we can incorporate a code enforcement officer / inspector. Right now, we contract the gentleman that so far in 5 to 6 months, we've paid him almost $16,000. And that's with houses that are not even touched yet. They're barely starting. So with the upcoming subdivisions, I think, how many houses? 170?
Well, this one here is 115 houses. At the one on Turner. But the cost that gets paid for by the developer, right? We charge a fee, and then basically that fee is what pays for the inspector.
Yeah, what I'm saying is we charge the consumer or the contractors $100, and we only keep 25. But if we were to keep all of it, because I understand if he fails you, he's gonna go back and he's gonna charge you again. So if we were to hire that one person to do both, then I think that would work. With the amount of houses that are coming up.
So, but to have a code enforcement officer / building inspector, and what are they going to do when there's not? I mean, what is really a specific problem that we're trying to solve here?
The code enforcement is always going to be there. I mean, from what I understand, you wanted to send 2 of our secretaries or clerks to school, but
they're attending this week. They're attending this week, and one of them already has some code enforcement experience because she goes out, she sends out letters, she follows up. So because she has that code enforcement experience, if she passes the test right now, she can actually give out citations. That's what it reads.
okay, but
Well, that's the way it reads.
That's the way it reads.
I know that they're not going to volunteer to do this. So how much more is it going to cost for them to go out there and do it? Are they going to pull it overtime? Or are they going to do it on after 5?
I mean, the reason that there's so much high grass right now is because of the past rain that we got. Okay, so there's empty lots, they haven't cut their grass, there's dilapidated homes, they haven't cut their grass. She goes out, she doesn't have to go out every single day. I mean, the previous code enforcement officer was going out 4 hours a week, and he was in writing citations, he was just putting stickers on junk vehicles, and if she goes out maybe 2 or 3 hours a week, I think that the city of Odem, the residents are going to get wind that there's a code enforcement officer, and I believe that they're going to start complying and cutting their grass. I think our biggest issue is probably the vacant lots and the dilapidated homes. And in those cases, because she is not a peace officer, she will be able to write citations and take them before the judge, and it's going to be up to the judge whether or not the judge is going to, if these people don't cut their grass and clean out their area, they completely, the end result completely on the residents.
I think one of the things that she's actually addressing right now are abandoned vehicles that are sitting in people's properties. I think she's seen several warnings already, And so I talked to her, I said that if they don't get them resolved, I think by the end of this past month, that we would send that to the judge for review. So, I mean, can you kind of explain that, the process, once it gets to the judge, if we submit, I don't know, a court ordinance, the judge will, they'll send out a summons, bring it to the court, and then they show up, and anytime, by the time they come to us, sometimes, the majority of the time, I see where they comply by the time they come to us. So at that point, that's what we want is compliance, and we end up dismissing their case. But if they don't, when we had a couple of cases where they did, then they got hit pretty hard. I think they got hit, $500. That's a lot of money. They kept violating. When they showed up, we gave them, a couple of extra days to clean it up, and they didn't. So when they came back again, then the judge had enough. This time, they have about $500 for violation. But that's the way it stands with they come before us, and at that point, like I said, the majority of them will comply. They'll cut the grass or clean up the properties, things like that. Yeah. There's people that don't, they end up paying. Okay. So, I mean, there's not going to be any additional time. I mean, the council can decide whether to pay them a stipend or an increase for the additional, duties, but we're going to try to keep it to their regular work schedule is kind of what the plan is, just to go out there during their regular work hours. If somebody reports a concern, obviously, they would go out there during regular working hours, which if we were to hire somebody, that's what they would be doing. I mean, they would be out there during regular working hours as well. And when they weren't doing the code enforcement or the building inspections, we have to kind of, okay, what else are we going to do with them?
Well,
So
I tell you, the code enforcement, I mean, that's a full-time position. I mean, I hate to say it, if these women are going to get certified for that, then they expect to be placed as a code enforcement. Because it's not something that you can go do a couple of hours a day and then come back. You need to follow up and you need to build that case, because when you bring it to me, I need to see all the evidence before I go forward. So they need to develop that case and have it ready for prosecution. And many times when they go out and they issue that first notice, they got to take pictures and all that, build their case, and then go back, I think it's within 8 or 10 days, and make sure that they complied. And they didn't, again, they got to take their evidence again and get it all ready. And there's forms they got to fill out. So if they're doing 6 or 7 homes in those 2 hours, they're going to fall way behind in their paperwork and developing that case. So it's not a part-time where we can send them out 2-3 hours a day or 4 hours a day, because they're going to fall behind.
Not only that, but I mean, I've read on other municipalities, it's very dangerous. It really is, and especially for, I don't want to say male or female, but some of the people are going to fight. They're going to say, hey.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying somebody that has more experience in dealing with people, and be ready to call law enforcement, because it could get that ugly. Another thing that we have to do is change the ordinance. The ordinance right now doesn't allow the city of Odem to hire a code enforcement officer. It falls under the police department to handle that. So that's another thing we got to change as well.
well, I think that was going to be my next question. We'd have to have a job description written up so they would, we'd have to have a position, create a position with a job description, which would have to be approved by council, with a salary.
Yes.
Now, is there any liability? I mean, what kind of liability could this position expose the city to?
The position
Same
itself, I mean,
liability as it would as personnel.
part-time.
Well, I'm just trying to get an explanation.
there's really no liability. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah. In
it's their
small
job.
cities, they do
I
it.
mean,
They're wanting to do all three, but
Right.
Is it the liability towards the, hold on.
Excuse me,
not?
excuse me,
Hold on.
excuse me.
Is it the liability towards the city, or the liability towards, maybe because of the actions of the enforcement officer? Now, of course, if the code enforcement officer goes out there and does something that's outside the realm of his duties, then yeah, they could put us in jeopardy, right? Some type of liability. But if all they're doing is going out there and enforcing the code, the ordinances, then there's no liability as long as she sticks to the role.
So that
They
we
stick
wouldn't
to the
need
role.
to require any additional insurance, like liability insurance,
Experienced at that.
for having this person.
I don't think so. I mean, I'd look into it, but I mean, not anything different than from, the insurance that you would carry when you'd have a police officer. I don't know what insurance we had with the other code enforcement officer that was doing it for us part-time.
He did his
Having
own.
him- no,
His
no,
contract.
He just signed a contract.
Yeah, he was a
We have a hard
contractor.
time. With TML, like, we have to report how many like outside workers and inside workers and.
I mean,
They look at
I
that
think
and
he would be
determine the
covered
risk.
as an agent of the city under our policy anyway,
Okay.
under the umbrella scope. He'd
Okay,
be covered as a servant or an agent of the city for any type of actions that he does, like I say, outside the realm of the scope of his duties. But as long as he's working and performing his duties, I mean, we got nothing to worry about.
okay.
And like I said, as far as the inspector can just go out there and make sure that they're abiding by the regulations of the building code.
Right.
So, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of houses being built here. And Lori Walker's already expanding. After her subdivision, she's gonna expand again. So we're gonna see a lot of houses kind of.
So like right now, when they come take out the permits to build their home, who goes out and inspects it on I guess every stage, somebody goes out there and
There's
inspects
a
it?
gentleman out of
We have a
Taft.
contractor.
So
that-
we subcontract somebody out to do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's the same guy that TAP uses.
but
Okay.
he's making 75, we're only making 25. But if we were to make 100, and keep in mind, if he fells you, he's gonna come back and charge you an additional 100. So, I mean, that's a full time in itself for an inspector / code enforcer. I'm not saying pay him like a police chief or anything like that, no. I would just say high 30s, that's it.
The average is 51,000.
Yeah, but that's for a big city though. That's for a big city. A small town.
Lisa, the classes they're taking, is it official?
It's
Some of the
official.
city
Official, it's not
classes are
officer.
It's official.
It's official,
They're
so.
going
Yeah.
down.
This is a lower down.
Yeah,
Does Rocky
So-
Mountain have a?
Nothing is expected of the city.
what do you
Oh,
call it?
They come and they gotta do their
Oh, I don't
own,
know.
They used to have their
deal
own
for
building
You gotta
inspector,
charge them, you're gonna be an inspector, you're gonna have an inspector for so many
but they pay them.
subdivisions. Hey, you gotta pay us a chunk, and we don't have to pay anybody.
yeah. Well, right now we collect a fee for each permit that, for all these permits that are coming through, we collect a fee and that's how we pay the contractor right now.
No, sir, that has nothing to do with it. The permit fee has nothing to do with the inspection.
Oh,
The
no.
inspection is separate. And there's 3 things that they have to inspect: the home, and then the plumbing fees, and the electrical inspection. So there's 3 inspections that they're gonna have to pass. There's 3.
Do they
So-
inspect the foundation once they throw the concrete?
He's
or-
gonna start from the ground up.
Yeah, he'll start at the beginning.
So,
And the way that we used to do it is the master plumber would have to sign off on it and all that. And, that's how we made the money back in the past.
so I
Yeah,
think,
Because if he's getting 75 out of the 100, we get 25. That's the same issue that we were talking about in Taft the other night, because they've got the same individual, and they're trying to change that.
Well, that's the individual that does it here.
mhm.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's,
Every time that he goes out.
but if you do the math,
Yeah.
he's already made 16,000 in 5 months.
So,
And that's just,
He's attending the class right now too.
huh?
He's attending the class right now too, to be certified as a code
Well,
enforcement.
tell him to come work for us.
yeah. So I think what we need to do is, since this was kind of a discussion, open for discussion, maybe
Just
we
to
should get a
take
job
action.
description together.
No, I think we should take action on it.
You want to take action now?
Yeah,
And
I
then
think so.
we'll
That's
work
why
on
I
a job
put
description?
Take action now, and then you come up with a job description.
Okay.
and the pay, and then.
All right, so you want to change your motion?
You have to change your motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Time. So, I understand what Isaac's saying about take action now, The problem that y'all have is when y'all take action now, your action has no plan. You came in here with a recommendation to hire a code enforcer slash inspector with a minimum of 30,000, is that what you were saying?
Me?
Bill?
I said the upper 30s, but that's not up to me. That's up to the council after we do budget.
So this was your item on the agenda, so a great presentation would have included the job description, what the enforcer is going to be actually enforcing, because yes, like Lisa said, that there was high rains recently. In my neighborhood, the grass has been high even in the drought.
Oh, that's everywhere, yeah.
So, that was all these abandoned lots. So I think before you make action on an item, you should have a very good plan of action. Because when you do empty actions, you get empty results. Just like when y'all hired that enforcer
No.
previously,
Take that action.
and he did nothing because he was instructed to, apparently, but the city lost out on all that money because y'all had no plan of action. Nobody in here was able to say, I want the code enforcer to enforce these, I want these violations to be evaluated, brought to court. There was no plan of action.
Well, I think with the previous one, our previous city administrator had met with him, and what we wanted to do is just let the community know, hey, we have somebody out here, try to get them to work with the community one-on-one, and get them to resolve the issue without giving a citation, which is what he was doing basically. He was going around, he identified ordinance violations, he'd meet up with the owners or whatever, and try to come to a resolution without it having to go to the court. And he, according to his, when he met, when he came to our council meeting, he said that, the citizens were pretty, open, and they understood, and they corrected the issues. He would go back, and the issues were corrected pretty quickly. He didn't feel that there was enough for him to do, was basically why we decided not to renew, because he himself said, well, 4 hours a week. I mean, really, everybody that I talked to, because initially he did have a lot of issues, but they were corrected pretty quickly, he said. And so I think that, I understand what you're saying. I mean, it'd probably be better in the future that if we're going to be looking at creating a new position, maybe having a job description already written up. What is it going to cost? Have all that, because I know that, working for the county, that's kind of how they do things. But I agree with you, but right now, I mean, if we do move forward with taking action, we can get with Miss Lisa to call around, see, try to put together a job description in our next meeting. We'll see.
Like, where are they listed?
I'm sorry?
Where are the list of violations that the enforcer was enforcing?
There were no
City
rule,
ordinances.
he didn't really, there was nothing in no enforcement done. It was just, he was going out there talking to the citizens. He never really wrote up a violation.
Like, where would a citizen look to see if they're not compliant with what?
Tall grass, junk vehicles, dilapidated homes.
There's a
If you
city
have,
ordinance.
if you have animals without the tag, then you can get a fine for
There's
that.
city ordinances.
There's city
I don't
ordinances.
even know them, but where are
There's-
they listed for all?
Oh.
Oh,
In
they're
the-
on the,
in the
they're on the
city
city
ordinances,
ordinances under
city
Odem
ordinances.
Mini Code.
Yeah, you can go to the
Mini
website,
code.
and there's a link there that'll take you to a separate website where all the ordinances are
There's
listed.
people living in
So,
RVs where you're not supposed to. They're hooked up to sewer.
I mean, they even
There's a
have
lot
like,
of violations.
like I remember our previous code enforcer mentioned to me, he says, people parking the wrong direction on the road,
We don't-
facing traffic instead of, where they should, things like that. And then just getting them, hey, you need to park your car in a different direction, or, when the PD was here, they could tow it away, if it wasn't parked correctly. So, but he was able to resolve a lot. And I think a lot of these things will be resolved pretty quickly with our citizens. They do identify issues, but we do have issues with people who have junked cars. We have people who are running, who claim they're not running a auto shop out of their house, but they got 3 or 4 cars that they're working on out of their house. So, so we have to address those.
Because
But,
there's even a lot of solicitors that go door to door, and aren't they supposed to have a permit?
Yes, they
They,
are.
they are.
Yeah.
They're supposed to have a permit.
Enforcer
And,
comes every weekend.
yeah, and that's something that we need to also address with them when people call. I think I talked to Ms. Lisa, hey, there's somebody going door to door, and they've gone out there and talked to them, and they put a stop to it pretty quickly. So, but yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, and in the future, I think it'd probably be best to come already with, this is the job description we're looking at, this is what we think this person should get paid, this is the new position title or whatever. And I think that would be probably the best way to do it in the future. Yes, sir.
Spend any money on the, seriously, like y'all were saying that there's already people getting certified for it.
No, we're not paying anything for them to be certified. No, it's the county is doing it to try to help, because all the small communities are kind of in the same situation where it's difficult to.
It's hard to, hey, they say it might be a dangerous job now, of course, they're not supposed to be confrontational and stuff, but of course, hey, you get somebody with a star code enforcement and
Yeah.
and so, hey, you're supposed to go and take pictures, this and that, but.
Well,
it might always be a confrontation.
I know that
There's a chance.
just
Now,
with
the other gentleman that we did hire was getting $1,000 a month just to give out warnings. That's all he did.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So-
we got two that are certified, and like you said, they're not gonna volunteer to do it, but hey, there was $1,000 a month getting paid for it, hey. If there's two people that are certified in the office, split it between them, but give them hey, you know what, so many hours afterwards, or.
Well, one of the things
It's kind
that
of hard to do, but it can be
Yeah.
done.
But, and I'm gonna disagree with Amanda as far as getting this in action first. No, that's why we're approving to hire a code enforcement officer and building inspector, so we can go ahead and start opening it up and do a job
Put it in our
description,
budget.
change the ordinance, and do all those things that we have to do.
Well, what some cities do, and just I'll use Beeville as an example. If they see an ordinance violation, for example, your dog's loose in the front yard or whatever, they don't go and knock on their door. They have a little thing they stick to your mailbox,
Yeah, they just-
and it says there what the ordinance violates. So they don't make contact with that person.
They go take pictures, they put a sticker on a pole, whatever next to your thing, they don't go knock on your door. nothing.
Right.
And, hey,
And-
it's right there.
In Corpus, I have
Yeah.
rental houses over there. I've gotten tickets on the door
Yeah.
because my renters put brush out there and it wasn't time. So they're not gonna give you a warning. But
Yeah.
again, they're certified to give you a ticket.
So, I mean, we'll just have to come up with a job description. We also have to come up with how, they're gonna do their job.
Now, if
we
these
can work on
girls
that.
wanna apply,
My opinion,
they
Mayor,
can apply.
we're putting too many restrictions on poor citizens. We want a police department, we want a code enforcer,
We're
we
not
want
talking about
everything
police.
in our,
We're not talking about police.
but, I think Lisa's doing a good job with the enforcement, so.
And we're
I
not
don't
talking
know.
about.
It's my opinion.
policemen.
Again, let's just work through the process. If they wanna go ahead and approve,
Well, I mean, a violation that, Jesse does is he waters his grass, man, when we're in freaking drought, So that's a code enforcer. Hey, don't be doing that because you can get fined. So of
At least
course,
I live in town.
of course, man,
Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and move. And I understand where you're coming from, and I know that that's how the county does it. They put the job description together and all that stuff. So, we'll go ahead and are you gonna change your motion from discussion?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to go ahead and approve of hiring a code enforcement officer, a certified code enforcement officer, and a building inspector.
Two different positions or one position to cover
One
two?
position,
So cover for code enforcement / building inspector.
two hats.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. So we have a motion by Alderman Huerta to approve hiring a code enforcement / building inspector. Second by Alderman Dominguez. So we'll move with a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
No.
place 5.
Yes.
So we have motion carries 4-1.
Another thing I wanted to say, that a lot of people think, oh, the county's doing a great job, San Patricio Sheriff's deputies, they cannot do code enforcement. They can't.
Yeah, I think that we beat that horse to death already. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and move on to item D. we're gonna move on to item D, discuss, consider, and take action on hiring a firm/investigator to do an internal investigation into financial and misappropriation of funds. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we bring it to the table.
So I have a motion by Alderman Huerta, so do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Alderman Veit, and so we will go ahead and open it up. All right, sir.
Yeah, like I said, you know, ever since you came on board, you were gonna go and look into investigating what happened with the misappropriation of funds. I know me and you sat down. We saw receipts that were repeated receipts that were, in our eyes, it looked falsified.
Mhm.
And I know you had gotten a hold of a company that the vacuum truck was only used once, and they admitted that, hey, well, you know, they claim, the city hall claimed that they came back 3 other times and charged 30-something thousand dollars, but the company you talked to said, no, it was only one time. So, I mean, there's a lot of proof out there. I know you reached out to Channel 6 and we were being investigated by Texas Rangers, but I mean, I went and talked to the district attorney and they're still waiting. Nothing's been done. So
Yeah, I think that what they're waiting for is exactly what we're talking about right now, is a forensic audit to obtain the necessary information to kind of move forward. I did talk to them, and I also actually talked to the AG's office, and they all agreed that the forensic audit would really help along with the information that we had already gathered initially.
I mean, I really want to see it done. I mean, it's already been 3 years and I'm just
I agree.
tired of getting criticized, and you chime in on it on Facebook where the guy who was posting AI got information from different areas and just, I mean, getting my company First Choice Limousines, BVH Properties involved, that had nothing to do with it. So basically saying, hey, Billy Huerta took, what a coincidence that he 2016 opened up a company, you know. So it's very frustrating for me and my family. So I think we need to get it out in the open. Simple as
Okay.
that.
So
Absolutely.
a forensic audit, I mean, it's just like they were talking about, it can range anywhere from 5,000 to 35,000. It just depends on how extensive. And the issue here is that we don't have a whole lot of a paper trail. We don't have a whole lot of a paper trail to go back, you know, far
There's
to do
paper
that.
trail.
So
I've got the receipts.
do
And
you,
we're still hiring one
have you-
person that milked it too.
what could you tell us a little bit about, you know?
With forensic audits, I mean, it's a little bit more, what we're gonna be asking them to do is gonna be even more detailed than the audit that this man that we just talked to.
Exactly.
And look at his rates. I mean, it'll be expensive,
It
okay?
needs to be done.
But again, if it's something that the council feels needs to be pursued,
I
then,
think so.
you know, that shouldn't prevent you from going forward. But also, this gentleman that we just talked to said he was gonna forward a list of
Potential.
forensic auditors, because there's not that many that do that, right?
Mhm.
So let's wait for his list and see what he gives us, and then we can contact them and pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these forensic auditors, I've only worked with 2 in my entire adult life. And a lot of them have law enforcement experience. A lot of them have worked U.S. Marshals. A lot of them have a lot of with the feds as well. And they do a lot of accounting work for different state and federal agencies. So I don't know who he's gonna, I know the 2 companies, like I said, that I've worked with in the past. I don't know if that's who they're gonna mention, but yeah, it could get, I mean, it just depends on the scope of what it is we're trying to find. And I think, and I agree with Councilman here that there's just a lot that needs to be addressed, and people have been asking, and you know, so I think that this is really the next step, is to get this forensic audit. Well, I think that we need to get with the forensic auditor at the time and say,
I would
look,
say that
this
was
is
up to 2017.
up to the last, last audit.
At least
I was thinking
2017 or 18.
for 1 year, probably be about $25,000-$30,000 to get it done.
For 1 year?
I think so. I mean, what you're gonna be asking us to do, I mean, they're expensive. I mean,
I mean, that, like I said, I've got receipts where that guy was turning in
right?
invoices.
Well, I guess we could just
you
wait
know,
and see.
so-
I mean, we're not gonna move forward until we get an idea of
Yes.
what it is the scope's gonna be. But at least to open the door, you guys can approve that we can move forward
Move forward.
with getting a list and what the cost would be and try to get a scope together with them. So,
That's a lot
you
of
know,
money.
but
1.5.
I can tell you that just from talking to over the last, and I think I've talked to Epi about this. If we find that these contractors did collect fraudulently, that they didn't do the work and were paid, we can always file, and I don't know what the statute of limitations is for it, but I mean, there's always a chance that if there is anything that is found, we can go back and try to get them to pay the city back for some of those funds, and we're talking over $1 million.
You're in criminal charge.
Well, there's
Filing criminal
people,
charges.
there's people
So-
in other municipalities that they get thrown in jail for $100,000.
Yeah.
Imagine 1.5. And to me, the way it was handled, it was through kickback. I don't want to mention names, but like I said, it was a kickback. So,
Well, and I know that I've said this multiple times, and people may not like it, but I mean, I try to be honest with you guys as the citizens. A lot of the stuff that was billed over the last few years before coming on board, I can't verify that work was ever done. I know there's invoices and that people were paid, but I can't verify, and the people that should have been verifying it weren't. And some people were even taken off, and then one of our superintendents at the time was basically told, "You're not going to deal with this anymore. You're going to work on this." And so there was no eyes out there to really show. And when I reach out to companies that were hired to come and work here, and they turn around and tell me, "We haven't done any work for the city of Odem since 2016 or 2017. So I don't know what you're talking about." You know, so, you know, I think there are a lot of questions. I think there's enough questions that we need to look into it and see what comes out. And if there is, and I don't even know if our insurance would cover it being like losses like that, if there were fraudulent losses. I mean, it's been a
We'd
while,
have to
so,
look into that.
you know.
But if there's criminal charges, surely the individual will be required to pay restitution back.
Sure.
mhm.
Sometimes they'll even, that restitution amount will follow them if they get sent to the pen. It's going to follow them, and it becomes part of their parole restitution.
The city even lost, when they gave this gentleman $1 million, they didn't 1099 him.
Mm-mm.
So guess who ate that money? The city did.
City did.
That's another discrepancy that I found too. So anyway.
Yeah, we had to go back and correct his 1099 for the first year I was here because he wasn't 1099 for that money.
Did y'all send it to him?
For that year, yeah. We did correct it to him. But I can say that our staff's response when I told them that they needed to do it was like, you know, "Oh man, he's going to be mad." Well,
Too bad.
too bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer a comment. There is a class of insurance available to the city as well as to businesses that would protect you in the case of a loss from someone who engages in the legal term of defalcation,
Right.
theft and so on. If you have that class of insurance, the insurance company will go to court for you.
Okay. We might need to look into that with
Wow.
TML because,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you. Who else? I'm sorry. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. So I have a question. Is it only the mayor that can make these like contacts or, 'cause I know earlier you said that the enforcer was being paid every month for, how many months did you say? 8?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we going?
Code enforcer.
That's
I'm just moving
separate.
to this point. So,
No.
nobody on the council questioned that there was nothing being done for 8 months?
We've
Y'all
been
just
questioning.
Yeah, we did.
We've
Yeah, it
been
was-
questioning
we've
for a
been
long
questioning.
time.
This one, where, like, you wouldn't be able to contact the Texas Rangers and find out who they use, or it has to be David?
No,
I don't know, that would be a question for Epi. I just want to get things started. So
Yeah.
regardless, not unless, another thing I found out is even the public, one of the residents can actually go to the district attorney and say, hey, I want an investigation. There's 1.5 million
But
that
you
was
have to have that proof
misappropriated.
with you.
So I was told that. I don't know if that's
So you
true or
have all
not.
the evidence, you said.
I do.
So
Yeah.
how come you haven't gone to the district attorney?
I did.
well,
And what
And
happened?
they were waiting for,
they're all waiting for this forensic audit.
Nobody's
They
done a
can,
Google search for forensic auditors in this area?
I have spoken to one, but they needed some additional information as well that we were trying to work on. So, well, this was about a year ago when I talked to them last. So, and of course, it had to be approved through the council. So I needed to get everything together for them. But, and like Council Alderman Huerta was talking about, there is a way for citizens who feel like, that elected officials have done something, inappropriate, where citizens can file a complaint with the district attorney's office, and the district attorney can take judicial action, is basically what they call it, against that person, and that person will have to come before the court and explain to them what try to defend themselves against the complaint. So there is a process for it. Like,
My issue as a citizen is if I go and request records, because I have to do a records request, because unlike Billy, I don't have access to those receipts and letters and
Right.
signed contracts and blah, blah, blah.
well, that's for all of us. I mean, we,
Request it, and I would be charged for
We
it.
have to question.
yeah.
No, it depends
Whereas
how many.
y'all have access, and there's 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5,
No, I know.
6
I
people.
request mine. So
Well, they would
I'm
have
saying There's
to,
6 people, and nobody in 1 year has been able to get the attention of the Attorney General, Texas Rangers, because y'all don't have a forensic audit.
well,
Nobody here today can say how much a forensic audit costs.
we
I
can't,
was under the impression that David had been
we,
talking to the
Right.
DA and
Right.
the
So he
Texas
told
Rangers. Well, he keeps saying it on Facebook. You've seen it on
Because
Facebook.
you've been
too.
here a year too,
Yeah,
maybe,
no,
I
no,
mean.
but he.
The
but
Texas
he
Rangers-
keeps saying that he does it.
excuse me, the
Well, where's
Texas,
your proof?
but even the
Yeah.
Channel
Yeah.
6,
You can't rely on somebody
Yeah.
else to do the work if you want something done too.
hold on. So the Texas Rangers can't come out and investigate unless the DA has to contact the AG's office and say, hey, we have this concern, or we have this issue or whatever that it needs to be looked into. So they have to send a letter to the AG's office. Then the AG's office will assign a ranger to the DA's office to investigate. So it's not, we can't just go to the Texas Rangers and say, hey, I have all this information that I think you need to look into it. It has to go through the DA's office. And so we've been working with the DA, trying to get information to them, and trying to meet and trying to go out and like I posted on Facebook, went to meet with the AG, and sat down with him, spoke to him for a little bit to explain to him what our situation was. And they gave me, actually, like the very next day, I spoke to a representative from Austin, and gave me, what we really needed to do to try to get this package all together so the DA can, consider it to take action against it. So that's what we're trying to do. And the forensic audit is one of the things that they all kind of agreed that would really help, So, hopefully we can get that approved today, and we'll get a list of the forensic auditors, see what it's going to cost us, and if there is insurance over there that might be able to help us, and if there is any crimes were committed, then we'll try to, we're definitely going to move forward with criminal charges if we find out that a crime was committed. So
I
Okay.
think that if we do approve this, then I think we ought to turn it over to legal and let him start talking to the district attorney and attorney general, whoever he needs to. That way he can come back to us and say, hey, this is what's going on. You do need a forensic audit first or whatever the case may be. But I think,
but tonight you guys are moving forward on hiring a forensic auditor, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You do that, and then I guess we can get with Kent Willis on a list, because he said I can give you a short list of forensic people that he knows, and we can start contacting them and see what the rates are going to be, and bring it for the council so y'all can approve one.
Sounds good. All right. Sir.
Didn't you, at one city council meeting, didn't you come and say, it's on Channel 6, City of Odem is being investigated? And then the next day, I guess you made contact with Sitton, you called us back and said, it was a mistake, we're not being investigated.
Well,
It was an error.
what it was one of the assistant DAs had sent an email to let me know that we would be receiving a subpoena from the Texas Rangers office for
What happened to
information. That's when I reported that to y'all. And then after that, the DA said, no, there's nothing going on. There's no subpoenas. We need to obtain, well, not the DA, the assistant DA. When I spoke to her, that, oh, no, the Texas Rangers aren't going to subpoena you. After all, we still need to obtain additional information. So anything that you have, please provide it. So it went from, you're going to get subpoenas from the Texas Rangers to, oh, no, it's not, So it's like, well, so this is where we are now, trying to get the information together before we, do anything going forward. So.
Okay.
like I said, that's why I would want our legal department to help us and report back to us and say, hey, this is where we're at.
Okay. So this one was only for discussion, or was it for action? For action. So we had a motion by Alderman Huerta and second by Alderman Veit. Do we have to kind of rephrase the motion, because what we're looking for is a forensic audit?
Yeah, I would take action on hiring a forensic auditor to do the internal investigation.
So you want to rephrase your
Sure.
motion?
I make a motion to go ahead and hire a forensic auditor to do the internal investigation into financial and misappropriation of funds.
Do I have a second? So we have a motion by Alderman Huerta, second by Alderman Veit. We'll move on with the vote.
How many years?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Well, how many years? You
Mention
go
the
1 year?
Well, I think we need to just get with them and just kind of discuss what we're going to look.
Like, you can just spend 100,000, you
I
can just go
mean,
pick anybody.
if we can pin it down to that year you're talking about.
Yeah.
Then
Well,
maybe 2.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, you gotta put it on.
29.
Well, I think that right now we just have to
21,
wait,
23.
so
I
we
would
can see
say
what it's going to
20 I
cost.
would say 21, 23, because it's already been determined that the audits that weren't done was because of a glitch within code. And so you even came and said that even Paul Bain couldn't figure it out. And he even said there's a glitch in encode. When Becky brought it to,
Excuse me, out there in the, yeah, hold on.
when Becky brought it to my attention when I was mayor, by then we were already a year behind. So by the time council approved, now we're another year behind. So, and that's the problem, that it does not matter who takes it on, what accountant takes it on. We've already had, how many accountants already? Like,
Well, I don't know. I've
so
only
I
had
think
two,
we ought to
so-
concentrate on the 2021, 2023, and then we can go backwards.
Well, let's just go ahead. I would say let's just leave the date open for now.
Sure.
And then we can kind of get with our auditors that we have, with our CPAs that we have, and maybe they can kind of help us out with that. So I have a motion to take action on hiring a forensic investigator to do an internal investigation of our financial and misappropriation of funds by Alderman Huerta and second by Alderman Veit. We'll move with a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5. So motion carries. Item D, discuss, consider, and take action to reduce the mayor's spending from 25,000 to 5,000. Anything over 5,000 needs to go before the council for final approval. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we go ahead and reduce the spending from 25,000 to 5,000.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
So I have a motion by Alderman Huerta to reduce the authorized spending for the mayor from 25,000 to 5,000, second by Alderman Veit. So we'll go ahead and open it up for discussion. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, the reason why I want this on here is because the previous administration had hired or created a position of a city administrator that has a lot more power than a city secretary. And I don't think we're seeing where the city secretary is, I mean, the city administrator is doing the hiring of a lot of vendors, contractors out there. I know the mayor means well. You know, he purchased a generator for $25,000, which, you know, we really didn't need it. If there's other places that we could have used that money, like the wastewater treatment plant. You know, TCEQ has given us violations and all that. So I think that money could have been used for more important things. There is also, we only authorized speed humps on Willis and Turner. And all of a sudden, you know, I find out that the mayor approved speed humps on Cook and on Cooper Road. And I looked more into it and got public information. So he spent $30,000 in speed humps. And these are not speed humps that are regulated either. It's a company that we use in environmental use. He hired a company called Gainco. We use them quite a bit, but we use them in the environmental part of vacuum.
That's his
Yeah.
way.
No, it needs, no, I'm
So,
gonna
no,
go
that's-
ahead and say it
It's
because,
okay, go ahead.
again, he's the one that's hiring the contractor without us even
We
knowing.
talk about people that are not here.
So
It doesn't matter.
So let's go ahead
It
and
does matter.
let
No,
me
it doesn't
just,
matter.
let me address the generator. The generator cost the city $20,000. It was not 25,000, it was 20,000. The reason that we moved on it was because that generator was supposed to go to the city of Taft. Taft decided they didn't want it after all. And so they offered it to us. Also, George West was another city that was considering it. We had our electrical company. I wanted to make sure that we were purchasing something that was, you know, was working, that was functional. We had our McWhorter Electric went up there and inspected it, ran it, and they came back and said, you know, I mean, for the cost, you can't beat it. That's about an $80,000 to $100,000 generator because it's got a 700-gallon tank underneath it. I think you guys have seen it actually. That generator could run for a couple of weeks, keep our water running if we were to have a hurricane or a long power outage. So it was either we move on it quickly or we lose it to another city. And we had already talked about using whatever ARPA funds we had left to purchase a generator. I didn't see that this was going to be something that would come around again, especially at that cost for something like that.
We did use it the other day when we had power outage.
Yeah.
And it worked perfect. So
And
what's the deal?
now the speed humps, the previous city administrator gave me a list of roads that had already been looked at for speed bumps and had already been, I don't know if it was you
We
went
didn't,
with
we
it.
didn't approve
So-
Cook or Cooper.
No, we didn't, you guys had, I guess, had identified problem areas. And so when we had citizens complaining about the speed and stuff, we said, okay, well, we've already identified these as problem areas. Now, the company that we hired, Gainco, they have a subcontractor that does road work for them. And that's who came and did the work. We are still working to try to get those issues, I guess, corrected, because there were some issues with a couple of them. But we were moving on citizens' complaints, as well as areas that had already been identified by, the previous administrator, that we were going to move on to put additional speed bumps out there in the community. So nothing gets approved without myself and Miss Lisa speaking about it. Most of the time, she's actually the one that's approving it. So I don't really know what the specific problem is that we're trying to solve here, to reduce, our spending.
You spent $30,000 in speed humps that you didn't ask permission to put.
Was it 30?
So Cook Street
Go
has
ahead.
2 speed bumps right now. Okay, that was because a resident emailed me and was concerned because Cook Street and Bullard, people just go around
Okay.
that curb and go really fast. I talked to the mayor about it. I had just started. So he directed me to go to 5th Street and go look it over there to see, what that looked like, because we were gonna have a new subdivision. So it was 1 speed bump over there and 2. That was paid for. A few weeks later is whenever Cooper Street came up. So it wasn't all together. It was
Well,
separate.
it's still the same thing. But what I'm saying is, did you know that even to change the speed limits, to put a stop sign, to put a yield, it needs to go before council. And that's a city ordinance. So we never authorized this. As a matter of fact, that's a county road on Cooper. We had to put a speed hump years ago, and we had to take it out because a lot of the emergency vehicles go through there. So you're cutting the downtime of emergency vehicles, ambulances and all that.
Well, I reached out
But
to
now
the
you're talking
county,
about
and
something different.
the
though.
county
First
told me
you're
that
talking
that's
about
city
the
road.
$30,000, and now you're talking about something totally different.
No.
Okay, what
So-
I'm telling you is that these 2 speed bumps and the ones over here on 5th Street were different invoices than the one on Cooper. Totally different invoices, totally different times.
But it's still the same project. That's what I'm trying to say,
Well,
without
that's not
authority.
really-
How would
Okay,
we have known that we were gonna do
how-
that
how
project
fa- how
over
far are
there
you
versus
gonna
the
go
project that
along?
we did
And allow the
here?
25,000.
So
How far? Oh, I'm gonna buy this for 10,000, but I'm gonna wait a couple of weeks, another
No, that's
10,000,
not the way it
when it's the
happens.
same
No.
thing.
That's not what
And,
happens.
but it wasn't
Well-
authorized.
Why are you being so picky?
I'm being
God,
picky
it's-
because there was-
He's the mayor.
So-
There was
You
a-
did it when you were mayor.
Exactly.
You did.
I
you spent
did
a
it.
lot.
I did
So-
it. Exactly. I did it.
Yeah, you do it
Yes.
all the time.
I did it. Yes. And then
Let him
I
do
was
it.
reduced from 50,000 to
Okay,
25,000.
we're at 25.
But he spent 30, but it doesn't
it
matter.
was
The thing
different. It
about
was
it-
different
The
projects,
thing-
though.
It's not,
So
it's the same
it is.
project.
So
but-
what are you gonna do in situations where, I mean,
A hurricane or
a
something.
water line break
No.
or a sewer line break is more than $5,000. Are we gonna
Yeah.
have to get a special call meeting to
No.
to
and
get
I'm not-
approval?
I want to shift over to her because we're not even approving the bills. We used to
Don't even
approve the bills
Oh.
for 20-some years. We don't approve the bills. And we're supposed to. Now, another thing, and I know these two don't want me to say it because that's his neighbor and that's his wife's husband, that they hired that company, Gainco. Gainco is an environmental company. Why are you hiring him? Well, you could have gone to J. Carroll Weaver. You could have gone to,
Or interlocal.
somebody else. That's what I'm trying to say.
So
So what's your
There could be a
So-
conflict
What is
of,
your point?
because there could be a conflict
What
of
is your point?
interest.
All you worry is about.
Because there
The
could be
mayor-
a
the mayor
conflict
has
of
power.
interest.
That's all.
So this
It
is
could be a
really,
conflict
this is
of
more,
interest.
this has nothing to, has nothing to do with financial responsibility. You want to put it on her so she can approve it going forward.
Yes.
Okay, so then it's basically about me,
Yes.
Yes, it
right?
is.
Okay, so it is more of a
It is
personal thing.
about you because
Okay,
again,
so-
you're
So it's
doing-
not,
you're-
this is not being applied equally to everyone. This is just, it's a personal thing
It is.
about me. I mean, and
It is
and
about
if
me
it
now.
is, if
Oh,
it
yeah.
is, then, we'll deal with that because, I mean, to be able to just try to take this responsibility away from me as a personally, that doesn't really do anything for the city. It doesn't help the city financially. It doesn't help, with financial cost or anything. it's really going to just put it on somebody else's shoulders.
She didn't
So
hire Gainco, you did.
we put it out for bids.
No, you
We
didn't.
put it out for bids, then we get
How do you know
bids.
so much?
Because Gainco is not a
How
lot
do you know
of,
so
because a
much?
lot of people are
Did you ask her
questioning.
about their contract? Did
Yes,
you
I
ask
did.
about the bids?
Yes, I
So-
did.
Did you ask about the bids?
There was no bids. She
We
just
did
finished telling you that the mayor directed her.
We got bids for,
No, you
for it,
didn't.
and Gainco does multiple projects at the other refineries, and they subcontract somebody that does their roads at refineries and other, that's why we brought them in, because
The
we wanted to see
invoices
if
that
they
I'm
could provide
seeing,
us.
the invoices that I'm seeing is very expensive. Why? Because they're a middleman. They subcontract it out.
Okay, well,
But
you
you
know,
could have gone straight to J. Carroll Weaver.
well, we did get estimates from other people. We got estimates from the company that did the ones on Turner as well. And we felt we could move forward with this because it was less expensive. So, I mean, I think right now this is personal. It has nothing to do with the city. It has nothing to do with saving money for the city. It's just, it's about you. It's about me.
Yeah, and then,
You know,
and then,
you're
and then
calling out,
somebody
you're
got
calling me
hurt
out.
because you're not putting signs.
Oh,
You're
now
not doing it
somebody got
correctly.
hurt.
Somebody did get hurt.
And
The
they're-
sign,
how
the
fast were they
signs
going?
were there.
Okay, there goes
So-
that.
There's no
There are
signs.
no
I should leave
signs.
this
There's no
proposal.
signs
There are
that
no
are warning that
signs.
there's speed humps.
There are signs up
It
there.
doesn't
There are
matter.
signs.
By
There
law,
are
you're
signs.
supposed to put signs.
There are signs up there.
No,
No, there's not.
no.
You're
There are
supposed to
signs.
put them at every speed hump.
They're not.
There are signs 100
No,
feet from the,
I've been all around them and took pictures.
the one
No.
that you're, on Cooper.
I've been over here.
Yep.
There are signs 100 feet from the speed. Okay,
Not
I'll
to
go out
and
there.
from.
Okay.
They're not. I've been around. I've looked at them.
May I say something?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So
I'm looking at
I
that.
think we do need
It's
to,
just right.
whatever the amount is, we need to define it more of like how, and because the original one, it doesn't say like how often, or is it per project? Or is it make sure there's a budgeted line item for it?
Well, that's a good
It's just
point.
more of.
In general,
25,000, and
yeah.
It's like,
Right.
maybe it should be
Okay.
25,000 if we've got something, an emergency situation. or
Well, we
something like
do.
that.
I thought we had problems with the wastewater treatment plant. That could have been used over there.
I'm talking about like a natural disaster type.
Well, I
I
think
think-
that, I think we got a legal opinion from you in the past about if it's different projects, around, it might be the same kind of work that's being done, but, it's being done in different locations that they're considered separate projects from each other, not one as a whole. And I think that's what you had given us as far as your legal opinion in the past. So,
Maybe
and that's
that
kind of
needs
what
to
we
be
were
changed
moving
then.
on, so.
No, I
You know.
remember that. I know what year it was, but I do remember.
It was a couple
when
years
that-
ago.
yeah.
That was totally different, and I can explain if you don't recall.
Was it
Your
something having to do with-
situation that we approved was economic development was gonna pay somebody to go and cut trees and all that. So there was an expenditure of $9,000, and then they threw another invoice for another 9,000, so they wouldn't meet the 10,000 bracket and go over. But the guy said, well, I gotta bring my equipment back, so that's why.
Yes.
And you said it was okay.
Yeah.
But again, it's two different.
So how did
Now, I
you,
mean,
I
a
mean, how did you
situation
come
like
up with
this-
the $5,000 though? I mean, what formula did you use to get down to the five? I mean,
Basically,
what financial
I want-
analysis did
I
you
want-
do?
I want to
You just
shift,
chose a number?
I want to shift over the responsibility to the city administrator as it was changed by city ordinance that the city administrator has more power than even the mayor as far as expenditures.
Go ahead, Debbie.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Basically,
Mhm.
right? That's what you're saying, Billy?
It doesn't say that, but if we have to change it because we don't get an approval every month of where we're
We
spending.
We don't.
How does
I
it supposed
think-
to pick it?
No, I'm sorry, hold on. Let me get their
You know,
legal.
When expenditures like this are made, let's say, like this deal, and I remember, that, piece of equipment, because, I sit over in Taft as well.
Right.
And they made that offer and it pretty good piece of equipment. And you are right, it was, I think, valued at 80 to $100,000, right? But I think it came from maybe Ingleside or one of the other cities.
Yeah.
And they had just purchased a
A bigger one, yeah.
So we looked at it. Unfortunately, they didn't have the $20,000 to pay for it, so they had to ship it on down. So I didn't know, we were lucky enough to land with it. But in expenditures like that, I mean, what you do, you know, if you make them as part of an emergency or a situation where you feel it's too good of a deal to pass up, then you bring it before the council and just ratify those actions. That way it's transparent.
Yeah.
And,
You better ratify it then.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't, there was no intent to hide anything from me. I mean, it's a big generator. I mean,
Yeah, it's
nobody's
nice,
gonna hide
yeah.
anything from it. You know, it was, every time there's a possible disaster, yeah, like there's a freeze coming, we have to go rent a generator and it sits there and we pay for 2, 3, 4 weeks for it to just sit there, you know, connected in case we need it. So we've spent thousands and thousands of dollars, probably more than 20,000 over the last few years because there was a big, huge thunderstorm coming and we might lose power. So we got to go get a generator. And there was certain instances where we couldn't get a generator because all the other cities had already beat us to them. So we were stuck without it. So this was just an opportunity to get, and then like I said, we had our electric company go out there, inspect it, and like I said, it was supposed to go to TAP first. And then of course they offered it to us and to George West, and they said, well, whoever gets it first, you know, can come and get it. And after our electrician went out there and tested it and ran it, and I think you guys actually really wanted it in TAP, we decided to purchase it. And we've used it already once, and we're probably going to use it a lot more, you know, over the course of a lifespan. But you know, being able to keep the water running when the power's out, I think was crucial. I think we all agreed that we needed to get a generator for out there, and this was just an opportunity that I felt there was no intent of hiding anything from the council. It's like I said, it's a big generator.
Yeah, but,
you know, but it was an opportunity to get it at the time, and
I don't think the
we tried to
question-
get it. So
I don't think the question here is whether we needed the generator or not, Mayor. But when you're putting stuff on Facebook, talking about our finances, okay? Where we're all, we can't do this because of our finances. We can't do this because of our finances. We can't do this because of our finances. And then in the past, Jesse knows this, we used to get approval, all the checks that were cut in a month. And in the agenda, it would be a motion to pay the bills.
Approved, exactly.
We would see everything. We would review everything that was spent. You're not getting that. We're getting the comments on Facebook. We're seeing the bank statements that are coming through.
well, first
So
of all,
with all that, how do you not
first
put
of all,
this on the agenda? It's
the-
not a matter of whether we
yeah.
did it.
First of all,
There's a
the money.
solution.
Hold on.
There's a solution to it, because if we approve this today and there's a major, just call each of us like everybody was doing in the past.
you can get a
We did that.
consensus.
We did that when Jesse and I did that. We limited the mayor
Yeah.
because we saw the same thing.
Mhm.
And he would call us, everybody, and say, hey,
Get
I
a
got this
consensus.
going on, can we do it? And Jesse knows that.
Well,
Jesse knows that for a fact, we did that. And you keep posting
so
financial situation of
Yeah.
well,
Odem.
hold on.
Exactly.
Let me answer that question because I know we're getting off topic here, but you're using that towards me. The financial situation is with our general fund. The money for the generator came out of the utility fund because that's where it was going, not from the general fund. I know it's all one big pot of money, but it was the money from the utility fund because that's where it was going to for that job. We also had some money left over from the ARPA that that was going to go towards it. So it wasn't like the general fund. When I'm talking about our financial situation, we're talking about the general fund, the one that pays, you know, most of our bills, what pays all our you know, day-to-day operating expenses. So this, again, you know, and we're getting off topic. It was no intent to try to go around y'all's power as, you know, managing our finances. If there's going to be, you know, if she has the authority to make decisions that are at up to $25,000, I mean, we can change the ordinance. Maybe the mayor shouldn't have any discretion on, maybe should have zero. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, as long as we have kind of safe thing, that, the city administrator is now going to be responsible for approving, those items going forward. So if that's the case, hey, you can knock it down to zero. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm good with that.
Can I
As
say
long as we
something?
have an emergency, something
Yeah.
that we can
Let me
handle there.
just say something right quick. I mean, I know you mentioned earlier about that we had to rent generators and spend thousands and thousands. Well, that's not true. The generator that was being rented was for the lift station, which is sewer, not for the water.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it was
We-
connected. It was
no,
connected
sir.
to. It was connected to the power, Billy. It was
No.
connected to the power to keep the old
Nope.
pump running. It
Nope.
was. It was.
Hey, it's a fact.
It
But
was.
but you're a smooth talker.
If
You're
we're
a
gonna
smooth
talk,
talker, people
if we're
believe
gonna
you.
talk about just one lift station, why won't we put a generator on all the lift stations?
Because that we're having
generator
problems
was
with
there
it for years.
specifically,
'Cause we've had it for
to run
years.
the water pumps. So don't tell me,
No.
don't tell me anything different.
No.
Because I know what I asked them to do.
No.
I know what I asked them to do. All right,
Yeah.
so
You had called, like, before you purchased that generator, you had called an emergency meeting and discussed it with the city council and go from there?
I think that's where we're at, so,
Yeah.
so it was so no, I think we've already addressed that point, Chucky. I think we've already addressed it, that, in the future, in the future, we'll, try to, maybe get a consensus, call everybody. At the time, I didn't think it was a big issue, because it was going to help the city. It wasn't like I was putting any money in my pocket, and I've had these gentlemen here, I've had other companies come and look. It's already, it's there. Again, I wasn't trying to hide anything from anybody. But if we're going to change the ordinance, I think we should just go to, the mayor has no spending power, that the spending power goes to the city administrator. And I'm okay with it. All right? I don't think that's fair for any mayor in the future, because who knows, at some point, the city council will get rid of the city administrator position and go back to the city secretary position. Is the city secretary going to have the same powers as the city administrator?
Well, until that happens, then
So,
we can go back.
If I recall, Mayor, when Salomon was here, if he was gonna go with the budget, he had to come in and get approved by the city council. If he was gonna go with, 5,000.
So I think we have already a motion, I think, to discuss, to take action in reducing the mayor's spending from 25,000. I think we need to go ahead and add EPI, a kind of something there, that the city administrator, because at this point, it's not their,
So what is it we're trying to do then? Reduce your spending power to 5
to 5,000, and allow the city administrator
to make
the spending
purchases
power of up to 25,000.
Okay.
So that needs to be,
Yes, there needs to be a way of a motion. And then.
But
when
I
we look
like
at
the
ordinance,
fact
do we have the
that-
ordinance on creating the city administrator? We would have to change that as well.
Yeah, we would
that
have to change that. The 50,000 was reduced to 25,000, but then it was added to the new supplemental mayor's duties. It was the second one. That's why you weren't able to find it the other day. But I like Betsy's idea, where,
Right.
if we can address, even on Lisa, say, well, what's considered an emergency? What's considered the same deal, the same contract, the same person being hired,
Any catastrophic event, you got a hurricane, you got anything affecting health or public safety, you have a busted water line, that's an emergency. You've got a sewer, lift station that's spewing sewer all over the place, that deals with health. So any of those issues would fall under an emergency type situation?
Sewer, water line, electric, no speed
Yeah.
bumps.
Yeah.
That's basically what,
That's a hazard.
basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. Shit.
So that would be, I would like to add that somehow in there, that, so it's documented that, that the city administrator is gonna have the purchasing power to spend up to 25,000.
You gotta change the ordinance and all that.
Yeah, I mean, everything's gonna have to be
Yeah, I mean,
changed.
you gotta change everything.
Okay.
That's okay. Ordinances are being changed all the time.
So this will take effect immediately, Epi, or until we can change the ordinance?
Well, yeah, once I get this ordinance done, I should have it done
Okay.
here by our next meeting for sure.
But maybe we get some more speed humps.
All right, so what do we need to put into the motion so we can move on?
I'd say just make a motion at this point to I guess, reduce the mayor's spending power to, what, 0? That's.
I was saying 5,000, but if you want 0, we'll do 0. I already made a motion.
I'm gonna leave it at 5.
Yes.
I think the mayor ought to have some spending power. I mean, you're the mayor of the city, right?
Right.
And then any other expenditures over the amount of $5,000 shall be, I guess, and I'll word it properly, but it's given to the city administrator at that point. And any expenditures over the expense of $25,000, correct?
Right, but for emergency purposes only.
Okay, all right.
Defined as?
Are we gonna define emergency?
Yeah, and I'll put a definition there for emergency purposes.
Okay.
I'll define it. But for right now, just make that motion, just put for emergency purposes only.
All right, go ahead.
About just general
Yeah, I mean,
purchasing office supplies from,
You'll never go over 25,000 for the month. But y'all need to start coming back to us and put it on the agenda. Consider and take action to approve the bills.
Even
That's
though
how it's
they're-
been
even
done
though
for
they're
years
paid.
and years. That way they question it. What was this check made out to? For what? For when?
Yeah,
You know.
like-
before the bills, before the checks are written.
Yep.
So when
Because
did
they
it
can always
stop?
go back.
Because since I've been here, it's never been on the agenda. So when did that stop?
I think when the previous administrator.
Yeah.
I mean, because she's
Sounds
been
good.
here.
I don't know. I
she's been
think-
here for 2
I
years.
think it was the
Previous
previous
administrator.
administrator did
He
it.
did it.
And
He used
we
to do it
even
all the
told
time.
them, hey, you can't do that. We want to know.
So-
The reason he said that it was to take up, it was because they had already been paid for.
Right,
I know,
but it
but
doesn't
that's beside
matter.
the
I don't
point.
know, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying
Yeah.
what he said.
Right.
It was.
so we do bills, we pay bills twice a month. So how are we gonna work that out if we're
We'll
paying?
approve them at
That's
the
the way
next
it's been
meeting.
done.
You know,
That way it's been done way before any of us were here.
so what, we're gonna have a meeting,
You need to have 2 meetings, I guess, to try to.
2 meetings a
You-
month?
You don't
No.
have to do that. You
No.
just, basically, if they have a question, it's just for check and balances. That's all it is. Why did you spend this? Why did you spend
But then
that?
you said you want to improve it.
It's after the fact. That's
It's-
it's
yeah.
just the way it was
And just-
before, it was after the fact, they had already been paid.
But at least we vote
So
for
they're
it.
in the agenda, they're in the past agenda, so I can read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
just
you
write
It's
it.
pay
been
them,
like
then
that
you bring it
from,
before the
I would say the
council.
Billy Joe days,
Yes.
the Jesse
Ah.
Rodriguez mayor
Oh,
days.
yeah.
That's the way it's been.
Even though that they had already been paid, they would just show it and the basic thing is that it would come to us and we would see what was paid and everything, and then the question would come up, it's like, okay, what was this for? What? So for the past years, I know that it,
Nothing you're putting in.
everybody had been seeing everything that had been paid.
No.
No,
In the packet,
no,
the ones that we-
It's been
not.
like that since.
But it's
the
been
other
coming in the
administration.
packet.
no.
Isn't it last-
Well, but
I
you
asked
just
for
put
it.
it.
I
yeah, 'cause
asked
she
for
it.
mine. I asked for mine.
And I asked for mine, I asked for mine the last 2 months because we were getting it.
Well, this is the AP report right
Get
here.
it? It wasn't delivered to you on Friday?
No. The last 2 months before she asked for it, I asked for it because it had not been included in none of our packets.
This was in, this, it's all in here,
She emailed it to us.
This is mine.
so.
I didn't know you were asking for it.
Yes,
I guess if we were
Now
looking
they're
at the
asking
agenda
for it.
item,
Yes,
for it, it makes more.
and it's not even on the agenda.
like that, so they
Yeah.
can see everything that was paid, all the bills, everything that came through, all the checks, that's where everything gets questioned. You see, that's like, it stopped when like in 2020.
Well, we have,
It's
I
not
didn't-
when
I didn't
it
get-
started-
I didn't get one.
so we have a, we have a,
Because I asked for it.
It wasn't, it's not in the one that's today, it was the one that was dropped off at the houses.
yeah.
That's
not
the one I'm
today.
looking at. I didn't get it.
It's here.
Not unless it was. a
Well, I
typo.
have two of them in here, so I don't know if maybe there was two put into my thing, because I have two of these here, so.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
And this is where all the AP report is for the accounts payable for everything. So you can give that to them. I have another one. So, Epi, so like I mean, when we pay the ambulance, when we pay Republic, that's 45,000,
That's a contract.
you know?
It's separate.
So-
We all know that that's a
No, but do
contract.
we have
You
to,
know what that-
it's an expenditure.
Right.
Do we have to come before council to approve that expenditure, even though
No.
it's a contract?
No,
It's a
I'm asking the
contract.
attorney.
No.
Thank you.
common
Yeah,
sense
that's
tells
gonna
you.
be part of your monthly bills, right, that you pay. Sort of like your vendors and stuff like that. I mean, that's the way that it's all showed on. And I remember from getting those bills when we would sit here and go through them, they itemize them or, you know, put your vendors and how much their bill was and what was paid out and all the expenses, you know, by department.
Well, I know we stopped doing the checks only because our previous administrator was concerned that, you know, I mean, you're giving copies of checks to people, but I guess we can do what we do now. You know, scratch out the account numbers. If they want copies, if y'all want copies of the checks.
No, we don't need
Yeah.
copies of the checks. We just
Well,
want.
that's what somebody was just saying, that you used to get copies of the checks.
No,
we
no,
didn't get
no.
checks.
Go ahead, Isaac.
So instead of making a motion to pay the bills, let's just get a copy of it every month, because we don't want to stop paying bills. Pay the bills, just get a copy, that's all that we really want is a copy to see where the expenses went.
That's not-
And it's not a copy of the check, it's just a line item, just like y'all did the last 3 months.
Mhm.
Well, you just
Then
put
how
discuss
much-
then.
And yeah, you.
Just put discuss.
and-
Discuss.
You can just put
I
it
mean-
under, you can put it under reports or, you know, presentation reports.
I don't think it needs to be a motion to approve it, because they already spent,
Right.
they already paid them, you're not going back and collect that check. So,
Right.
you know,
That's what he.
so let's just put it in there
As
as
a
a,
discussion.
as a
If
discussion,
anybody has
and
questions.
just like
Okay.
it goes on the top or whatever.
So you'll have that, the change on the ordinance?
Yeah.
And not only for the mayor, but also for the city administrator?
Right, because there's two ordinances. One that was made specifically for the mayor's spending authority, so I need to change that. And then change the one dealing with the city administrator's ordinance.
Okay,
To increasing her power to 25 for emergency purposes only.
perfect. So does Billy have to like
No,
redo
it's the
his
same motion.
motion today? All right, so there's no more discussion. We'll move on with the vote to change the ordinance, I guess, with the mayor's spending authority from 25 to 5,000 and pass that on to the city administrator. Place one, place two, place three, place four, place five. Motion carries 4-1. Item F, discuss, consider, and take action to approve a parade and street closure route for the following city events. So we're gonna just go one by one. Item A, the Odem Android ISD Homecoming Parade. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Alderman Garza. Do I have a second? And a second by Alderman Weiss. So we'll open up for discussion. I think there's a map there. I think it's the same route that they take every year. I don't think we're gonna need to go into a whole lot of discussion, so we'll move on with the vote to approve the Odem Android ISD Homecoming Parade scheduled for September 10th. The road closings are Cook, Paisley, what am I gonna get those all at? Place one? Yeah. Place two? Yes. Place three? Yes. Place four? Place five? That motion carries. Item B, do I have a motion for the Christmas in the Park parade schedule for December 19th, 2026? The closing. Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
So I have a motion by Alderman Garza, second by Alderman Vine to approve the closing of the streets for the Christmas parade, scheduled December 19th. You can just take note of the roads that they're considering. If there are any discussion, we'll move on to a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3, place 4, place 5. Motion carries. Item G, discuss considering the action to approve the temporary closure of Humphrey Street and Klein Avenue for the following events to provide more safety for the event attendees. Again, we're going to do these one by one. We're going to go with the first one, a motion to for the 10th annual barbecue cook-off event for the GFW.
But it's already on one motion.
But we have to do it one by one, don't we? I mean,
No, it's
hold on.
motions.
In this case, you can take them all at once.
Okay.
You're basically closing the same set of streets.
Okay. For the following.
I'm making a motion to approve, item G, as presented. And it includes the town.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we have a motion to accept item G as, so we have one by Councilman Pike, do I have a second? Second by Alderman Huerta. So I think we need a whole lot of discussion here, so we're gonna move on to the vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3, place 4, place 5. Motion carries. Item H, discuss, consider, and take action to waive the main city park rental fees for the upcoming EDC events, Halloween in the park and Christmas in the park. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we waive the main city park rental fees for the upcoming EDC's events for Halloween in the park, Christmas in the park.
Okay, we have a motion, do I have a second? So I have a motion by Alderman Huerta, second by Alderman Dominguez. Do you have any discussion? All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the vote to waive the rental fees of the EDC events. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3, place 4, place 5. Item I, discuss, consider, and ratify EDC expenditures for Christmas wreaths for the main city park, not to exceed 15,000. I have a motion. So a motion by Alderman Garza to consider and ratify. Do I have a second? A second by Alderman Falcone. Do we have any discussion on that? All right, we'll move on to the vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3, place 4, place 5. Motion carries. Item J, discuss, consider, and ratify EDC expenditures for Christmas banners for the city street poles on Wall Street, Highway 77, not to exceed 10,000. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Alderman Falcone,
I'll second.
and a second by Alderman Vite. Is there any discussion? We'll move to a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5. Motion carries. Item K, let me see.
Now to get nitty-gritty.
Let's go ahead and leave that one for just a second. We're gonna skip all the way to item M. So we're gonna move to item N, discuss, consider, and take action to approve a 5-year lease with Pitney
Pitney
Bowes for a postage meter machine. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
So I have a motion by Alderman Vite. I have a second.
I'll second.
Alderman Huerta, we have a second to approve a 5-year lease. Betsy, do you have anything you wanna?
We have two different options. We have an auto option and then a non-auto option. And they look at $75 a month difference. The auto option will allow us to go put the envelopes, a stack of them, and then they'll feed them through the machine and they'll seal them and stamp them. Whereas the non-auto option, people have to
One by one.
wet them, seal them, and then
Put 'em
feed
in.
them through the machine.
Let's do the
Apparently
auto.
this the non-auto option
Yeah.
also has a ceiling feature, but I think it's never
It doesn't
worked or
work.
been used.
Right.
It's jammed.
All right, so I think we should just, I think which one's the one that you were? The auto? All right. So I think the auto option is probably the best. It takes away a lot of the work, the tedious work. So we're gonna go ahead and vote on approve the 5-year lease for the postage meter. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5. Motion carries. We're going to go to item L, discuss a possible action to direct staff to evaluate the city utility rates and fee schedule and provide recommendation for updates. I have a motion to open up.
I'll make a motion that we discuss the possible action.
So I have a motion by Alderman Garza, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Falcon, so we'll open it up for discussion. Betsy?
And so when we look at our schedule, some of these, we're missing a lot of fees that other cities charge for. And then there's also like rate fluctuations and like on the rates. Whenever I did an analysis of the trash rates, we were only making like, no matter how many trash cans people had, we were still making the same amount. Whereas the city workers are working more, having to make sure those bills are in, make sure everything else that goes along with it. But we're just doing it as a one rate.
So what are we looking, I mean, what is it that,
Like the profit right now is $7.01 for one trash can.
Don't we get that,
Inside
don't we
at
do that in budget?
$11.20, but
Yes.
$7.01 for, it doesn't matter which. If you have 4 trash cans, I mean, this is actually 5 trash cans, or 2 trash cans, or 1, it's just $7.01.
But
Oh,
you
no.
just doing budget.
yeah,
But it was just like to look,
Oh, yeah.
This
To
is-
direct her
yeah, for-
into doing it.
an example
Yeah.
of something that we need to
I would prepare it and get it ready for.
yeah, I mean, I think,
change. And then also, there are other items.
Mhm.
so we're looking at fees, now that's for all across the board? Is that what we're talking about? Maybe
Yes.
updating fees across the board, okay?
Because,
I-
like, I was looking at some of the other cities. So this is Portland's. And they've got, animal control, dog kennel. They charge for impounds, tags. There was also
I like to get golf cart in there also.
parade vendors, $10. You know how they have the light,
Mhm.
usually,
And maybe golf cart.
there's also like
Mhm.
planning and zoning fees.
Yeah.
That I don't believe we have charges like all of this.
So I think maybe,
Planning fees and there's variance fees, like, they charge like $1,000 for a variance.
can you put something together with side by side? Like, this is what we charge, this is what, the city of whoever charges. So when we get together for the next workshop, we can look and compare and say, okay, I think that's, or maybe we'll just kind of take the median instead of the middle, If you can put something like that together, and for our next workshop, I mean, we have an opportunity to see, this is what we charge now, and this is what Portland charges, and maybe we can come up with something in between, and, maybe, I think
Yeah.
Portland's,
That's what she
yeah,
was
I think Portland's a little
Yeah.
high, so,
There's like a well organized.
Yeah.
But I also like looking at Sittons and there's online, like a try to go to Repurio, and they're sending me a copy of their Republic contract, because I was interested, because they do get service twice a week.
Okay.
But that's what you need to
Interested in
compare,
the
you
cost.
compare Mathis, the 4Q, North Road, Portland, and that's like our tax assessment.
Yeah.
I went and looked at the houses in Austin, there's not.
But the work is
neighborhood
still.
here- There's not a neighborhood here that starts at 2.5 million.
Yeah,
Well,
but Portland,
I-
Should be the same.
Portland's gonna get volume. So
Yeah.
their fees might be less, but they do volume.
So I think that,
We are
you know,
not that way. I agree with Amanda. If we
Yeah.
would get a smaller city
$1,000 for a
comparison,
variance?
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I'm saying. We
Exactly.
gotta compare
Crazy.
to.
we need to
a
try to get as close
municipality.
to apples, you know, it might be green apples and red apples, but let's try to get at
Maybe it'll be
least
the same.
apples, okay? All right, so if you can get something like that together, we can bring it up and discuss it in the next workshop. So we're gonna move on to item K, discuss, consider, and take action to approve needed repairs to the wastewater treatment plant and lift stations. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Alderman Falcon. Do I have a second? Second by Alderman Dominguez. So we'll open it up for discussion. I mean, I think that Ms. Lisa has some quotes in there, but we also have some gentlemen here that would like to speak. If y'all want to come up, you know, and
Finally.
you know, I think having a professional kind of let us know what you guys think.
You're already being rather kind, Mr. Mayor. We've witnessed a lot of healthy discussion tonight and watching how democracy works. I want to begin with just an introduction, if I may. The last time, Mr. Mayor, that I was here in City Hall, Billy Joe was in the office.
Oh, my. Oh, my goodness.
Well, she's still here. She's still here in spirit.
Pardon?
She's still here.
She's still here in spirit, though.
Really? Well, the occasion was when Mercer Construction, that's one of the two companies I'm part of, had a water or sewer line job that was done here in and for the city of Odem. Yes, I'm part of two companies. My cap says Mercer Control, and Zach, our roving salesman, has visited with your staff here. We understand that you've got a bunch of serious problems. And I did a little bit of looking myself today and reinforced some things I have been aware of quite some time in the past. We're a little different because we've got an awful lot of varied skills behind us. I have the ability to even marshal the resources still with Mercer Construction Company. I'm still a major owner of the construction company. But I'm glad you've allowed us to participate in the discussion because you're in trouble. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an item that is beyond discussion. I did bring with me a set of prices that are high budget numbers for the critical items at your sewer plant. But you also have some challenges at your water plant. And things need to be done properly and in order. And as you know from the discussions you've had the last 2 hours, there ain't no free lunch. The last thing that Mercer Control quoted to you was actually the water system.
Oh, what was that again?
The last thing that Mercer Controls quoted to the city of Odem was for the water system. You understand, 4 years ago, had a leak develop underneath your water tower. And we have a technology using what are called variable frequency drives that allows us to keep the customers at normal water pressure while the tank is taken out of service. You actually have some new controls right now at your water plant that can be induced to do that with a somewhat minor modification. And I understand that this repair at your elevator tank is scheduled to happen sometime in the next 3 or 4 months. So we may need to still be at your side at that time. Now, in talking about the sewer plant, you have a bunch of lift stations that are in obvious violation of TCEQ regulations. One of them has neither pump working. Several of them have only one of the 2 pumps working, and that in itself is a violation. Just because one is there, you're supposed to be repairing the other one at that time. Because when one goes down, the other one still has to pump the sewage as your city attorney has already voiced, it becomes a public health emergency. And the city of Odem has certain powers to handle public health emergencies and do things differently than you might normally have to do under budget conditions. You also have a beast there that is called a grit separator, which according to your staff has worked well for probably only a year of its 5 years of existence. Well, I'm not surprised because those are monstrosities to keep maintained. And the way that you are separating the grit that you don't want to go to landfill, someone is manually using a rake and a shovel to pull the grit out of the chamber. What do you do to get it back in operation? Well, I don't even like to look at those things because they typically have controls that are proprietary. And the manufacturer will not even sell the program that it takes to repair it, which means the manufacturer forces cities and towns all over the place to come back exclusively to them and pay the going price, which is typically 3 to 5 times what you would expect on the normal labor market.
Mhm.
I find that in sewer plants and water plants all the time. Now, as to whether or not it's mandatory that your grit separator be fixed, I did not have the time today to look at the TCEQ regulations, but my understanding in the past is that that is not an item that is mandatory to be operational automatically. It's nice for it to, because it does have a tremendous amount of labor saving. But you do have a mandatory requirement to get those lift stations working.
Well, we've been.
That I've got on my budget high numbers here.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes, sir.
When it comes to the grit system, and this is just what our engineers and other people that have the pumps, the RAS pumps. We put some brand new RAS pumps not too long ago, and the impellers on them are already wearing down. And well, what I've been told is because you're getting way too much grit in there, and those RAS impellers are plastic, and the sand and the grit will just tear them up. So we've already had to pull one to go and replace the impeller, and so if we don't have the grit system running, I don't want to be replacing the impellers on these RAS pumps every 6-7 months because they're getting eaten up by all this grit that's coming through the system, because it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And a lot of that grit sits at the bottom of our clarifiers, and we can't get it out of there.
Yeah. The other alternative, Mr. Mayor, is to change to a stainless steel impeller in the sludge pumps. And that typically will push the lifetime out. The use of plastic impellers is a cost move on the part of the pump manufacturers, but it is sometimes ill-advised when you're trying to pump something that's going to be deleterious to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're facing.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that kind of was real.
Actually, one of the things that we actually discussed on the way over here is the impeller almost probably too
Yeah.
Now, before I go any farther, yes, I've got some numbers here, and the high numbers on the lift station work alone is right at $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the grid system, I don't know what that manufacturer will charge you, but it could be past $100,000 itself.
Well, I was told to just get the grid system. This is the number I was given to get the whole system up and running was about $240,000
On the grid system?
on the grid system. Get it all running.
We were pulling a number out of the hat on that one. I have to assure you that. Now, you also have an interest in having a new communication system that would allow you to be able to sit at a desk and see what the condition is of the amount of fluid in each lift station, whether the pumps are running, force them to run, force them off. It's called a SCADA system. That's an abbreviation for supervisory control and data acquisition. And typically, a cost for something like that is about $25,000 for the master and $15,000 for each site. It could be more, but this is a kind of a budget number for the SCADA system.
We have that, don't we?
For the water.
Oh, we do.
Yes, you have one
For the water
On the water.
on the water.
Yeah.
on the water side.
Only one side?
Yeah, not the sewer.
Not the lift stations.
No.
No, we did.
Now, your present water system SCADA could potentially be expanded at a reasonable cost and a cost-saving move and incorporate the lift stations into that. But so often, the people who put SCADA systems in, I'm sorry, we're a little different. We have to think about the customer and the long run. There are people who put SCADA systems in and limit it and block the box so that you can't improve it, can't expand it, can't buy enough except to scrap it and start over. We'll have to do some research on your SCADA system.
Well, we've already had that issue with the existing SCADA system, with the new pump system over there. They didn't communicate with each other very well.
Y'all have SCADA at the lift station.
Yeah.
There's just no comms between the lift station
Yeah.
and the main SCADA at City Hall.
Yeah.
There's no communication there at all.
Exactly, yeah,
The
so,
lights already red.
yeah.
Now, the reality as to how your problems need to be solved, some of the language that I see in your agenda suggests that kindness might be directed toward us. And I'm just not going to force your hand or tell you that you even have to make a decision tonight. You know what your schedule is. You know what your imperative is with TCEQ. But I will tell you, number one, we have the skills for everything that's on the list, with the exception of that brick machine. We do lift stations, we do controls, we do SCADA, we do communication, and I do have the ability to marshal the resources of Mercer Construction in doing major piping work. However, you're going to have someone shepherd you to identify the best way to do all of this. It is true that we, as a control panel and lift station contractor, can come to the city and take care of this work and match like for like and keep it within all the regulatory structure. However, you have some things that may need to go as an improvement to the regulatory structure, in which case you might need a registered engineer. I am a registered engineer and I have provided that service in the past. And I would be willing to talk to you about that, although I would hasten to add that if you were to favor us in that direction, I probably would work with another engineer. My brother, for instance, has already established himself with San Patricio County. He handled a grant job over in St. Paul. The reality, though, is that so much stuff that you have to be done. TCEQ understands when we get involved that we're not going to shave tail and go around the regulations. And they are glad to see us coming in situations like this. But that's something, again, you would need to evaluate. It's just that our integrity would help you and serve you, and we would be your humble servant to take care of your needs, whatever you wanted us to do. It would be up to you to give us a sense of direction tonight or some other time.
Well, I think that for tonight, what we wanted to show is the amount of work that needs to be done to be up to speed with TCQ. I mean, yeah, we could go and pay the fine, $162,000, and say, okay, well, we paid the fine. But like one of the TCQ inspectors said, that doesn't mean that we're not going to come back and hit you again because you didn't fix the issues that were supposed to be fixed. You know, we want you guys to fix the issues that that need to be fixed. You know, so you're not taking that burden away by just paying the fine and moving on.
No, we know that.
So, if we show progress on something, whether it be lift stations or stick, it will ease tension on TCQ coming to y'all. We don't have to do everything in a broad span of things at one time. We can start small, start here, start there, showing that we're moving forward with you guys to help TCQ get off y'all's back.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what our bigger discussion earlier about the money that was spent on previous contractor. And some of that work was supposed to have been done.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said, we can't prove that it was ever done. We still have lift stations that, like you guys went out there, that don't have 2 pumps running. One lift station doesn't have any pumps running. So we're having to go out there and manually inspect it and vacuum out to make sure that we keep the levels down. Our main lift station at the water plant only has 1 pump running. We got one in, but it went out pretty quickly, so we had to pull it out and send it back out for service. When we got the big rain a few months, about a month ago, I guess, It just couldn't keep up. We had to go and get rentals just to pump everything out of the main lift station because the one pump just was not going to do it. So, you know, we want to get in good. We want to get back into TCQ's good graces. I think that we can only go so far. We can't even get a SEP for the 2023 inspection, which is where a lot of these things were found, because we're trying to close out the 2019 SEP still. And that's right now for review. We submitted a lot of invoices and stuff of work that was done that we felt was met the 2019 SEP. So it's under review right now to see if they're going to accept it, and then maybe, you know, it'll be closed out, and then we can maybe move to a 2023 or a SEP for that inspection. But as we work through our budget, we have to know, you know, what is going to be a priority and where we need to put money to address some of these issues, because it's just a matter of, and I'll just say what TCQ said when they came out here when I first got elected. You know, they hadn't received a accidental discharge report from the city of Odem in 6 years. He said, I know y'all aren't that good. He said, so you guys were not reporting what you were supposed to be reporting. Because he said every other city in San Patricio County has, you know, 5, 6, maybe 8 accidental discharges. If a sewer line breaks, that's considered an accidental discharge. If a manhole overflows, he says, and I haven't received anything from Odem in 6 years. And he looked me straight in the eye and said, I know y'all aren't that good. So we need to get kind of on the other side of this to where, you know, we do have our things in order. We do have our things running the way they should, because as we discussed earlier, we do have additional houses going to be added, and that's going to add a burden to our system. You know, we are licensed for 400,000 gallons to process 400,000 gallons of waste a day. We're somewhere between 250 and 280. So we've already passed the halfway mark where we should be starting to look for expansion, to expanding our wastewater treatment plant. Because once we add these 115 homes, and I think, what are we adding at Odem South? Does anybody know?
About 14, 15 homes.
14, 15 homes over there?
30.
30?
30?
Oh.
It was 30.
She said it's 30.
30. So we're looking at 150, 145, 150 new homes, you know, single family homes with multiple people showering and using the facilities. And I mean, we'll go from 250 from 250, 280 to over 300,000 gallons a day in just a matter of a couple of years. So being able to get our system up and running the way it should, and then we can start looking at expansion. And maybe at that point, we've been be in a good situation where we could get grant assistance from, you know,
In addition of
the
150
Water Development Board.
homes, using the state's numbers, that's going to add about a 35 to 40,000 gallon burden to your plant.
All right, yeah. So,
Yes, sir.
Sir, so what kind of time are we looking at if you were to fix all these?
I wish I had a crystal ball.
Do you have an idea?
The figure I gave you, 198, might need to come up a little bit because we don't have any new control panels in there, and we believe that once we show you the circumstances on one of your panels, you're going to need it replaced also. I would tell you that our shop on the control panel would be able to produce that in less than 90 days. I will tell you that what will need to happen is that my own personal time will have to be dedicated toward the review from my own experience. I've been with Mercer Construction for 55 years and with Mercer Control since I started it about 1991. But the ability to review the whole picture of what you've got at the sewer plant and the lift stations and bring these more down to even tighter recommendations than what we've got in these budget numbers. That's the starting point. And I would say that we could begin the improvements with available parts within 4 to 6 weeks.
So, I've looked at a lot of the control panels, and again, just from what I've been told from people who are professionals, and they were using chemical products, dumping them into the lift stations to try to help break down the waste, but they were keeping that basically chlorine. To me, it smelled like chlorine stuff you would put in a pool, in coffee cans inside the control panel boxes. And from what I was told from engineers was that the fumes alone from those are corrosive, and you're basically locking them inside this control panel, and that's why a lot of those controls were rusted. Something you couldn't even. At one point, we had to replace. It's not a fuse. It's like relay, and they couldn't even get it out because it was rusted in place.
There's
Because
a corollary to what you're talking about. We find sometimes that in the maintenance of a lift station, when you change out a pump, the cable has to be routed from the pit, from the pump, through a conduit and into the panel. But every time you do that, a seal has to be put on the conduit to keep the sewer gas from coming out.
what you probably
That opens
saw,
up the panels.
yeah, what you probably saw was,
Yeah, I saw everyone in there, it was completely exposed.
yeah.
One thing also is, these lift station panels, where we can save y'all money is, your internals to your lift station panels didn't look bad. Your panels look horrible because, for one, they're not rated for the outside panel. We use stainless. If the panels that don't look bad don't need new panels, it's the internals that need to be replaced. So you can keep your stainless panel, but change out your internals, and it'll save you a ton of money on the budget.
Yeah.
That's where the in-depth technical review, it's not a reflection on Zach, but probably someone at my level, I would probably need to spend the better part of a day and a half or 2 days down here to come up with a complete pattern. But again, we would be a humble servant. We would work with you. We invite you to check our reputation. We got clients all over down here. Refugio, Goliad, Woodsboro, Mathis, Sinton.
You're talking about a lot of Odem Al rivals there. I mean,
I know it.
yeah.
In fact, when I was in high school, one of the football teams that was a nemesis to the Edna Cowboys was the Bishop Pirates.
So, so the whole entire project, what's the time
By the
frame
time
to get out of violation? Obviously, you're not gonna come and fix it right away,
Okay,
right? So there's phases that you're gonna take.
Yeah.
And then what's the total cost you can kind of give us? I see your figures what are on here.
Yeah.
And then what do you need from us for you to get started and show that we're doing something?
okay. Let's look at it this way. The first thing that I could give you is a letter that you can show to TCEQ that says, hey, we've got a competent contractor who's going to take care of us.
Okay.
And that has a lot of weight with TCEQ.
Okay.
The second thing, I could work with your city attorney and see to what extent we need a contract. We have no problem dealing with what are called the Engineers Joint Contract Documents Council, the EJCDC document, because we sign that all the time. In fact, I assisted in the writing of that when I was on the national staff of the National Society of Professional Engineers 35 years ago. But a contract showing with some detail the amount of work that we would propose, and your city attorney would certainly get the privilege of looking at it, making corrections if he needed to. We are fully insured. If you do want the added benefit of engineering expertise with my own personal stamp on some of the documents, especially if something has to go to TCEQ. Insurance for professional engineers ain't cheap. I would have to have some sort of revenue stream there, but I don't think you're dealing with that much of it. I would tell you that the total package of what you've done here, the pump deliveries are running 6 to 8 weeks on new pumps. I hesitate to say less than 120 days because we are in a growth pattern at commercial controls, building new staff. I am no longer the sole owner. I'm still there because they don't want me to get too far away. But I have new personnel that is really taking the company into the next century, let's just put it that way. And I'm glad to see the output that they have and the standards that they've got, because one thing I had to have before I even sold the company was to make sure that the integrity of the new owners matched what I expected our customers to have. There's just no way that I will do anything that will compromise a customer's integrity or values.
Do you do any financing?
I have been known to, yes, sir. In fact, let me just give you a little bit of detail there. I personally have been doing so, and so has a family organization. My late father, who died actually in a job site accident in 2001, had hoped that the family would have enough resources to assist in those towns that had very little resources and finance items. And I've done that quite a bit the last 10 years. And if there were a consensus that you would pay your bills and they're all approved and the city attorney would have to check, then I might be able to even find some financing for you.
So we do have an engineering firm that we work with, Aradura.
That firm used to be owned by my brother.
Oh, really? Well, we have Hector Castaneda that works out there. Hector kind of, when we have projects like this, like even the new development, he kind of acts as a liaison between them and the city to ensure that we have a set of professional eyes out there looking at things and making sure that they're being done the way they should be getting done, and come back and report to our city administrator. So if you know Hector and you're familiar with Ardura, and we have a lot of faith in them to represent us. So I'm sure we could probably get with them about working with y'all.
Well, and what I would suggest in that case, determine how much guidance you would want Hector to give us. And it may be next to nothing. Because again, we're dealing with things in which we have positioned ourselves as experts.
Yeah, I think my only thing with Hector would be to just kind of be a liaison between us and not that we don't, trust you.
No, that's certainly a benefit to us.
But
That's a benefit to us.
I don't think we have a contract.
So I think you're good there.
Well,
No.
Yeah, and in fact,
No.
in the contracting business, not many are aware of this, Mr. Mayor and Council, but the contract that a contractor has with a city is a relationship between those two parties. At the same time, the city may have a contract with an engineer, and that's a contract between those two parties. But the engineer and contractor do not have an agreement between themselves, and there is no contractual relationship that can lead to a court exposure.
But we don't have a contract with Adura, so
no,
we don't.
No.
we just use them on projects where we feel that we need a set of engineering eyes. For example, the water plant, the water tower, even though Haas, I think is, they're the ones that are kind of overseeing it. I mean, Hector's kind of been there, kind of act as a liaison between them and us and make sure that,
Well, I
we're
understand that there's a
well
lot of
informed.
Grant money available through San Patricio County. Is any of that headed your direction?
Well, I did talk to our commissioner about that, so he's looking into it. So I'm hoping that we might be able to kind of piggyback on what they're working on for some grant money as well. So we're hoping to get that done.
Well, one other historical note about Ardura. 50 years ago, there was a firm in Corpus Christi known as Smith and Russo and Associates. And then Mr. Russo died and Mr. Smith continued to run it. Then my brother bought into it. It became Smith, Russo, and Mercer. And then he placed his own name on it, John D. Mercer and Associates. But then 3 of his employees bought it out from under him and it became L&B.
Yeah. So I think that, I know we have a motion here to consider and take action to approve needed repairs. And we have a second.
Mayor, could
I don't-
we, who made the motion?
I did.
Jesse. So could we, change this to make a motion to, start on the contract with our city attorney, get that letter, and then we can approve how much this guy, what the contract looks like, so we can look at possibility of some financing?
Sure.
If they can.
Merchant
What I would
willing to-
basically do, sir, is get a copy of the EJC DC contract documents, add a proposal to it, carefully worded to protect everyone. But the fact that I don't have hard numbers, these are high budget numbers right now.
Right.
But to give that to you and bind ourselves with a contract there. And I could go ahead at this point and provide a letter to TCEQ, to you, that you could hand off to TCEQ, saying that we are expecting a commitment from the city to authorize us to begin the work immediately.
Okay, good.
So I think that the motion, the way it is here, to approve needed repairs, Epi, what do you think? I mean, as long as we approve it, because we're not really
Don't we have
saying
to come
any,
back and approve the contract?
we would have to come back
Yeah.
and approve the contract. I mean, but this is kind of giving us
Direction?
the
Right, yeah.
direction to be able to work with y'all about into the contract.
With one modification, Mr. Mayor. If the council so agreed to give you the power to sign it with pre-approval from the council.
Well, we will. Well, once we get the approval from the council, you know,
What I'm saying is
well,
an approval tonight that says. when
It's
Susan
not on the
comes in,
agenda.
you have the
yeah,
right to
we
sign.
wouldn't be able to because it's not on the agenda. But we are looking at having a special call meeting to address,
Yeah.
we could definitely get it going pretty quickly.
Okay, so what is my instruction tonight then?
So right now, I mean,
We're
if we,
gonna schedule a special call meeting on the 18th.
Pardon me?
On the 18th, we're gonna have a special call meeting.
but right now, what we're approving right now, or what they're gonna vote on is to move forward with the repairs. And then that'll kind of opens the door to bring y'all in to work with Miss Lisa. If y'all need to take another walk around and do another walkthrough to see what needs to be done so we can get some better numbers. I know Mr. Victor, he, so.
I have a question though. I have a question.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So
Yes,
my
sir.
question is, y'all don't specialize in grits and grit pumps?
In the grid pump,
Y'all don't
No.
specialize in those? That's not gonna be part of
On the
y'all's
grit pump,
quotes, the grit
You're
pumps? and-
probably locked into
No.
having to deal with the manufacturer on it.
Because I'm asking because in our SEP, in our violations, that's what TCEQ, we got there's a violation because we don't have grip pumps. So if y'all send us a letter to show that y'all are gonna be helping us, if TCEQ comes back and does an inspection on us and we're not gonna have our grip pumps, but y'all are looking at other things, are we still gonna be liable for not having our grip pumps?
Let me offer you this, as our service, as part of our services, if you're
Hold on.
interested, I can shepherd the arrangement with the grip pump manufacturers and maybe save some costs there if they start throwing things in there that they don't need to.
well, I think that's what we're gonna be asking is, since it's something that might be specific to the manufacturer, that's not a problem, but if we have, if you're able to work with the whoever the company, and try to make sure that we're not getting, gouged by them to get this system up and running. That's kind of what we would be looking for. I understand that it might not be something that y'all might be able to do because, I mean, just like the iPhone, you still got to go to Apple, right? So I understand why companies do what they do, and
Still the coordination and making sure that. they're
correct.
not railroading.
Correct.
Okay, I'll give you one example. If they would give us half an opportunity, we could build a control panel to operate it rather than them have to send it here from Timbuktu.
Well, let's go ahead and if we can get this approved here, so we can move on. We'll get you guys working with Ms. Lisa. And if y'all need to take another tour, get with Mr. Victor there. He'll take you around to whatever you need to see. And then, of course, you'll get with our legal, with our attorney, city attorney, to try to see about a contract. And then we'll try to put it on a special call meeting to get going, because TCQ just sent me another letter today. I didn't even get to read it. So
I understand the task tonight is number one, to go ahead and give you a letter showing our intent to work with you under terms of the contract that's being negotiated to take care of the listed problems of which we've been made aware at the sewer plant and lift stations.
Correct, perfect.
And so far as the value on the contract, TCQ doesn't need to know that. But still, your attorney and I can come up with some language that will protect all of us.
Right, for sure. All right. Thank you.
With that
It's a-
motion, then
We will move forward here with the vote. If there's no any more questions. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4, place 5.
Yes.
So the motion carries. The motion was to approve needed repairs to the wastewater treatment plant. And Ms. Lisa, you just work with these and see what we can come up with.
I believe,
Yeah,
we
no.
walked around.
Okay.
Mhm.
and if someone could provide for us, either tonight or by email, the method of communication with the attorney. All right. I appreciate very much the unanimity that you have shown.
Thank you.
In allowing us to do this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Really.
Where are y'all from again?
It's from Edna.
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 We're going there.
Oh, man.
Oh.
I thought it was on purpose.
And when you came, when Billy Joe was here, I was a councilman
You were
back in the day.
In,
A long time ago. Yeah, Billy Joe.
It's been
Tenille.
about,
Shoot, that was
How
like
long- no,
20 years ago, maybe?
how long ago she passed away?
Oh, when she
Yeah.
passed away, I'm sorry, 2 years ago? 2 years
Two
ago?
or three.
2 or 3?
About, yeah,
Yeah.
3.
I think it's more like
Yes,
three.
but
About
you
3. That was
came,
before I came in.
about,
so.
it was about 20 years ago, I
It's
think.
about three.
All right.
Council meeting.
So we're gonna move
I
on.
remember that. Yes. Yeah.
Move on to the discussion items. Item A, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Discuss the speed bumps. I think we've already kind of touched on that.
Well, basically, if Genco can go back and correct them, because it's supposed to be gradual.
Yeah,
It's
no,
supposed to
I
be
think that's
gradual.
what we've been working on, try to get them to
Yes,
come out
because-
to address that. So, and
Okay.
they're under warranty, so
Okay,
they'll be coming out.
yeah, there are specifications.
Yeah. Odem, we're gonna move on to item B, discuss on TCQ social media and KRIS 6 News regarding violations. Alderman Virginia,
Yes.
go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I have that on this. Okay, Mr. Mayor, you went on Channel 6 and accused the previous mayors, which I'm one of them, and you accused me of not keeping up with the wastewater treatment plant. While I was in office, we fixed what we needed to be fixed. There was violations from 2021, which we filed a SEP, which is a supplemental environmental project, on July 30th, 2021. I received a letter from TCQ, Texas Commission Environment, which is here. I do have it, and I know that you have all of them too, of all the letters, the notice of compliance and everything. So I have the letters where everything has been involved. And then on June 15, 2022, Mr. Peña submitted a registration as a transporter of municipal sludge and similar waste. He submitted copies of dates and sludge haul to the central landfill. And so we have copies of all that too. Okay, on August 23rd, 2023, City of Odem was issued violation. One of the many issues was the facility was not being operated by persons holding a valid Class C license or higher for a minimum of 5 days per week since August 16, 2023. So all the issues occurred during the month of August. That was on your watch, not on mine. And when I was here, we did have a person that did have the proper license that was needed. We always had it. So when that one from 2023, for the person that I don't know who y'all had or didn't have that wasn't licensed. And if you received the letter on June 24, 25, you submitted a letter for the proposed agreed order. Yeah, I don't know what happened that if you didn't follow through. But we were doing that SET program before I left. I know the previous consultant that we had that was working out there with them. He was working on the SET program also.
What's that?
The SET on this one,
What year?
on the for the 2019 SET that needed to be done.
And who was a consultant?
John
He's
Redkey.
not here, so I'm not gonna
But
say.
I mean, you could say names. I mean, it's up to
Whatever
you.
I'm not gonna say names because he's not here to
Okay.
defend himself, so I'm not gonna say names. But that's, I mean, you knew who it was because he talked to you too about it. He had talked to you about the SET program also. And then, in regards to the San Patricio County Transparency Project, which, ran by Brett Store, he went by a lot, and since you shared it also, you have put that millions were missing. And then you also did go on Facebook stating that Mr. Bain, I'm sorry, or the person that y'all hired for 2,500 weekly, that he had not found anything. That he had not found any descriptions, that money that was missing had to do with encode. The encode, when they tried putting it in, encode was not working correctly with what they were inputting. And then I know that some people went to classes and they did try putting all the information, but encode's the one that messed everything up. So I don't know how far back that one went. That one's from 2016 also. And then also, the majority of this items that this person put, it was all AI generated. I did not talk to Channel 6 on August 2023, which it says here that I had talked to August 2022, to the media on August 2023, and that I had talked to them and I had told them a bunch of stuff also that's on there. And I mean, everybody saw it because several people shared it. And then, when you hired Mr. Bain to help the city of Odem to get in track, what did he find? He didn't find anything. The only thing he did was help y'all with the budget and help y'all get, the money. But I know that he was looking back. I mean, 2,500, that's 10,000 a month. For how many months?
So,
He hired?
so let me correct you, Mr. Bain. I never said that nothing was found. What we said and what we found is that there was money that was cashed out from several CDs. It was put into, we know where the money, it went into the pool cash. Where it went after pool cash, we have no documentation to show where all that money was spent. And it was over $1 million. So what we looked back at is we found that 700 something thousand dollars were paid to one contractor, and then an additional 600 something thousand dollars were paid to another contractor. And yeah, you might have the invoices that they invoiced the city, but I can't confirm that work was ever done. Because just because he sent you an invoice, because the previous contractor that you're talking about, he was told he was no longer allowed. He got a copy of this letter that you gave the contractor, David Pena, that said that David Pena was supposed to report directly to the mayor and city administrator only. And the previous contractor was told, you no longer have any responsibilities with the wastewater treatment plant. And our previous employee, who was at one point was the superintendent, was also told, you're not to have anything to do with the wastewater treatment plant. That is his responsibility. It's a contractor's responsibility. So this letter, I mean, it's just very clear. I mean, you guys both signed it, that you were not supposed to report to TCQ.
No. Keep reading the bottom. What does it say? Keep reading it.
The city recognizes that the sewer plant has issues that were recognized back in 2016 and were not addressed at that time. That is, city recognizes that the issues with TCQ have not been resolved. Furthermore, the issues with the sewer plant were never reported to TCQ back in 2016, and this date they are still not reported. So to that date, they were still not reported.
Okay, on the letter,
why didn't you report them?
No, on the letter, doesn't it say also that the city's gonna be reporting it? Well, according
No.
to this, just say that
I can read the whole letter. I can read the whole letter here.
No, that letter is going to where? To who?
On 2021, it says a letter to inform that it sends me letters. You should have that.
To who? From
From
TCQ?
TCQ.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the letter that you wrote, that you and Janie, the previous city administrator, signed, that said the city of Odem is contracting David Pena, a licensed contractor to repair/clean the main sewer plant, clean, repair the clarifiers, piping, and all lift stations. He is to utilize whatever chemicals are needed during the cleaning process, which you knew we were not licensed to use chemicals. And that's why some of the equipment is damaged, because he was using harsh chemicals to try to treat the facility, but the facility was not licensed. And we didn't have even a temporary license, because you guys could have just called TCQ and said, hey, our UV system is out. Can we get a temporary license to use chemicals? That wasn't done because you were afraid they were going to come and inspect.
The chemicals
And
had been used
so
for years before.
get the
I was
U.
there too.
Then it
So
says
where does
get the
2016 come into play? Because that's when I was mayor.
give the UV system repaired
set
or upgraded.
program.
He is to utilize chemicals that are necessary for the disinfection of the outfall, which is kind of, again, we were not licensed for chemicals. He is not to hire subcontractors or company that might report back to TCQ. The city of Odem wants to make sure that the sewer plant is repaired completely and fully operational, at which time TCQ will conduct a full inspection on the sewer plant and the lift stations. I mean, that just,
The reason for that letter is so that not too much gets, not, I mean, we did want TCQ to know what's going on, but I wanted for it to come through us first.
that doesn't say that here.
So that we could put it.
That doesn't
put it
say
out
that
there.
here. That doesn't say that here, and that's,
We were in a set program right there, 2019. That was a set program. The 2016 set program, I've got a letter here that I completed that. So, it says the TCQ would like to thank you for participating in the set program and hopes that your organization found it to be a rewarding experience. So to me, the 2019 set program didn't get finished. And then they came back in August of 2023 when y'all met with TCQ. 3 years later, they gave the violation to you because you didn't follow up on the 3
2019?
years.
On the 2019?
No, that's a separate violation.
What are you talking about? The
That's why
2023?
it says right here, what you gave it to us in March. It says
Oh, yeah.
2023 enforcement case, and you got 162,000 violation.
Yeah.
But remember, I was telling you that if you did all those things, all you got to do is turn it over to them so they can give you credit for it. They don't want your money. They just want you to throw in-kind service. But
Yeah, but
so
what they
that's
were finding was stuff that hadn't been done previously, which we are trying to, and we've done, like we just talked to this gentleman, we've been working on it, and Ms. Lisa's worked on it, our previous city administrators worked on it. So we understand that inspection came after we didn't renew our agreement with this contractor, and then our other individual that was working also left. Somebody reported to TCQ because obviously it's anonymous, and they came out to inspect. And a lot of the stuff that they found said that they had found in the past previously, and that's when they cited us for it.
But
So
the findings are all under your watch. Because
yeah,
it
but
says
they came in.
the-
Oh,
the
I know.
The investigators were
inspection-
informed at the time of the investigation that unauthorized discharge had recently occurred at the North Lift Station on August 18th, 2023.
Right.
That's when you were on.
And that's when it was.
Another one, the discharge monitoring report, DMR, for the monitoring period ending July 31, 2023. That's on your watch with an authorized representative. There's
And that was a complaint from a resident in that area. And again, and I was kind of new to the thing. I wasn't
the
aware.
grab samples collected during the August 23rd, 2023 investigation revealed the respondent exceeded the single grab permit. And then it's saying that you were using an authorized person to run the wastewater treatment plant. That's when David Barnes quit because you were trying to force him to run the wastewater plant, and that's why he quit.
No, I mean, and we'll talk about
if
you want to know about that. I'm not going to talk about it here publicly.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going back to this letter and the Channel 6 news report. to me, I mean, and I asked Epi if he had seen this letter before. He had never seen it. To me, this is a contract. This should, and if we talk about me coming to city council for approval, this never went through city council for approval. But you signed this contract with this, it's considered a contract. You both signed it. So it's still, you signed it and you gave it to him. And it's basically, it's considered an agreement that didn't go through city council, you know? So, I mean, you knew that we're using chemicals. You know, I mean, I didn't know that we were not allowed to use chemicals. When I found out we were not supposed to use chemicals, we stopped using chemicals. We started spending money.
Supposed to be using chemicals either, because we have been using chemicals in the past, and we all know what the previous
Well, not me,
city council-
so,
I'm telling the previous city council, I'm not saying you. 'Cause
you know, so, I mean,
But they have been using it before the.
so how long was the UV system out? Was it out before you came in? The UV lighting system to disinfect?
No.
Old chemicals.
No, it was still on.
Because that's what he was using, a lot of chemicals to falsify those tests.
Yeah,
He was
because-
putting bleach
Yeah.
on the front end and then waiting for the bleach to run through, and then he was catching the sample. They don't test for bleach. And for the whole time, I mean, I even contacted the chemical, the Chemtechs, the ones that did our lab work. They said, we haven't had any issues with samples probably for 2 years.
We
Well,
fixed the UV ray
system was gone.
We fixed the UV ray systems, and then the special managing consultant, I'm not gonna mention names, he's the one that said that it was broken and we needed to put chemicals. Again, I was not there.
Yeah,
so
well, they
but I'm
pulled
just
it, they
saying.
pulled it out, which when I came into the office, it wasn't even there. There was no UV
Yeah,
system.
he
It was
pulled
out.
Yeah, he pulled
It
it
was
out.
pulled out and
And
he
that's why
was,
it goes back to investigating,
Mhm.
because the receipts that we found, a lot of it is bogus receipts. It's
Yeah.
chemicals, 5,000, the same thing, different date.
Yeah,
A
So,
lot
And-
of that would,
I'm sorry.
a lot of that, a forensic accountant would have to hire somebody like Mercer Control, probably to come and
mhm.
analyze it.
But I'm
So-
just saying, instead of us pinpointing who's at fault and all that, and calling the media and all that, I think we should all work together, and that's why I mentioned the SET program. I thought that we were under a SET program. Now you're saying that they denied it because the 2019 is not completed. So we have to work on that together. That's it.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, first of all,
Why wasn't the
I'm not never
19
I'm never not gonna talk to the media because they get the reports from other people. Somebody else is calling them and telling them, hey, this is happening. And then they call me and say, we got a report that this is happening. Can we meet with you and talk? Sure. I'm not gonna say
We never
no.
had the media, and
You know,
in
well,
the 27
Oh, I
years
know.
old, we've never
I-
had the media.
I know.
You put the interview to the radio whenever you brought the police department.
Yeah,
You did a
yeah,
whole commercial.
yeah, but that has nothing to do with the TCEQ.
So-
Well, it doesn't matter.
So what I'm just saying, what I'm saying, hold on, what I'm saying is we're talking about, you know, transparency, coming to city council to get, and I understand that. I never meant to do, buy that generator and all that, go behind anybody's back to do. I thought it was the right moment, the right time. It was a great deal. It was a good piece of equipment, you know, but if somebody decides, whether it's somebody on this council here, because information goes out that nobody else has but us 6, but the news media gets it. So who are they getting it from? If it's not one of us here, maybe it's one of the clerks there at the office. I don't know.
It's just like
So,
you said, that, like,
you know-
remember, like, when we came through and you said, you had said something about hiring the DA and the Texas Rangers that you had told us, and then all of a sudden, Channel 6 had it. It's like, and you had said that, well, you didn't want Channel 6 to know, but then they interviewed you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So,
how did
But
I
the
mean-
channel,
how
but
did
Channel
they-
6
how did they
said,
find out?
this is the same situation that happened 3 years ago. It's the same.
well, they
story.
were reporting on the letter that they had reported on 3 years ago. And
Yeah,
they
that
were
was-
following up because a lot of the issues that were reported to them were still not fixed. So that's what they were bringing up. Go ahead, sir.
I don't know how to explain this, but I think that y'all shouldn't talk about each other on social media. Because a lot of things that the citizens here, the citizens, even the ones who don't live here. I had a guy the other day call me a dummy because he said, well, don't go through the light where the 18-wheelers are. There's 3 ways to cross the city, to go one side to the other. But they get that off of social media, and they get that off of, y'all need to just stop the social media, because you're putting stuff out there that you cannot prove. Like, there's one.
No,
there's
that's not
one
true.
that was put out
That's not
there
true.
by Witherspoon. That lady, what's her name, Witherspoon?
Oh,
Yeah, she put out there that you said that they were responsible for the thing. That's not true. You can't prove it. When you say something about somebody, you have to be able to prove it in court.
All, and if you say, I mean, this is not a court of law to start off with, but when I post anything, when I post something, I might put a date. I might say this happened, the SEP in 2019. I might put a date. Now, well, I will look at that and talk to her directly, but, you know, so.
I have it, I screenshotted it.
But I don't ever want the media to be able, like, you know, say, oh, well, we reached out to the city of Odem and they had no response. You know, hold on, you're not recognized right now. So I don't ever want to be like that. I don't ever want them to think that we are trying to hide things from them. Stuff happened in the past, you know. We need to get it fixed. And that's what my goal is to try to get it fixed. But when the media calls me and says, hey, we got an anonymous call or email, and sometimes will send me a copy of that email because I will ask them, will send me that email, and it says anonymous@gmail.com, you know, I'm not going to not respond to them. Because then then they report it as if we're trying to hide something. And I don't need TCQ coming over here because they did a report and we failed to step up and say, well, this is what's happening. So, well, I understand what you're saying. Well, I mean, as far as I know. All right. Excuse me. All right, hold up. We can have this discussion. Go ahead, sir.
So Mayor, maybe they're getting it off of social media. The Channel 6 News on the stuff that you put on there. Maybe you should just put on there, watch the video from meeting on May 13th and let the people see what's going on and they can.
Well, I mean,
I know you put something. Only because I received a call and I had asked for some funds to be put aside in the budget. And they said that you put on social media that you had asked for funds too for another project.
Animal control.
And that I know, you never asked for funds unless I wasn't in that meeting.
No,
never. But that's exactly the way that person read it. That we decided that the council decided to go this other route.
No, it was just a recommendation from us.
You never gave a
Well, that's what it said. Well, we've talked about it. I mean, whether it was addressed directly, but let's just kind of go back.
Just like when.
Watch the video or something.
Okay.
Just like when,
Maybe they're getting it.
just like when Becky was saying, there's kids on e-bikes and they're running the four-way stop. The next day you put on there that they were legal. No, none of us said they were illegal. We said the
say
golf carts are
No,
illegal, but Amanda also
There was a
posted on
citizen-
there that, yeah, you
There
see.
was a citizen
I
that,
have the snippet from your meeting on YouTube where she's complaining about it.
She
Yeah.
didn't say they were legal.
hold on.
No, yes, you did.
Hey, hold on. We've already gotten off the discussion item was with the TCQ stuff.
Yes, because a lot of the stuff is here stated where we did report items. We did report stuff to TCQ here. We have even for for Mr. Peña, he did send stuff to the Texas Commission also. And then there's the TCQ. I have a lot of the information here, which you have also. You have it. And then I know that you have said that nothing had been reported within 6 years, but it says they even came during the investigation conducted on 2021, it was documented, the sanitary overflow, and then it shows here where it was fixed also. But then everything was getting fixed, everything was getting fixed. And you saying about the.
But if, I mean,
you saying about the chemicals.
we spent $700,000.
The chemicals were.
So
I thought they were-
looking for $700,000 then?
What's fixed?
I mean, we still have $250,000 worth of stuff that needs to be fixed that was apparently supposed to be fixed by the contractor. That wasn't fixed because nobody was verifying the work. And then thousands of dollars spent on chemicals that we were not licensed to spend. And as soon as we stopped, like I said, we never failed an E. coli test for 2 years, never failed it, but we had no UV lighting system. So how are we passing it? Because he was throwing big old bricks of swimming pool chlorine tablets at the end of the what's that area, that thing called, where the discharge, letting them break apart. And then he was going and getting, he's already gone. There was even a test kit in the little office there where you could test it before you send it off to make sure it was going to pass. And if it didn't pass, we'll just pour a little bit more bleach and then go get another sample and test it again.
Well, like I said, all this TCEQ and the monies that are, all this needs to be compiled together with an investigation.
Yeah.
Because that's how we're gonna find out that it was the people that were running the wastewater treatment plant, but the chemicals and spending of the money. Later on, I found out that there was a guy selling chemicals. I don't want to mention names. Somebody came and told me there was a guy.
But, let me just give you an example. Let me just give you an example of what I found. In April, and this is just 2 months. In April of 2023, this contractor was paid $5,000. In April of 2023, he submitted another invoice, very vague, of what he did at the wastewater treatment plant for $39,000.
That was for the vacuum truck.
30 days later, he submitted another invoice for another $39,000.
The vacuum truck
So
again.
how was this paid without it coming to council to get approved?
Okay, so going back to what we were asking for earlier, pay the bills, get approval to pay the bills. We'll find that. And we'll see it.
I asked the city, I asked the bookkeeper at that time. I didn't ask her at that time, that she already left, but I asked her, how come you didn't catch it? How come you didn't report this unusual stuff? I was told to pay it. Now,
because it wasn't going through her.
Okay, but
it was going straight through,
but-
and she was being told pay it.
right, but you know who was in charge of it? The person, and I've got the letter, an email where it says this individual is in charge of all approvals of the financing, even the police department, fire department, and all that. So
Well, that was a consultant that we had before, but he was told he was to keep his hands off the wastewater treatment plant, which he did. And this is where we are now. So, I mean,
When you hire just when you hire Genco, you trust that they're gonna go do the right job, right?
But I mean,
But
you
no,
have
but-
to go
but
in,
you're
but
gonna-
you have to go in
Well,
and
look
you
at
have to
the job
have,
they did.
you have to
Look at
have
the job they
oversight.
did.
That's why we're
Okay.
getting with them to repair it, to fix it, because we were not happy with the work that was done by his contractor. So the issue here is that this guy submitted almost $1 million worth of invoices, and none of that stuff can be verified because some of it was supposedly done underground. So we don't know if he dug up stuff and ran pipes. There was other projects that were done that he had hired a subcontractor to bring.
Basically, what you're
So
saying, I was supposed to know what he's doing, what chemicals he's using, because I'm a contractor also, or because I'm not a contractor.
Because you're the mayor.
Yes, okay, that's right, I'm the mayor, but I don't know the chemicals. Do you know the chemicals they're supposed to use? Do you know? I think it's the amount of invoices that he was submitting, 5,000.
Yeah, the same thing, the
Right
same.
now, we don't have a contractor that submits those kind of
Well,
invoices.
and I will say, y'all are using a contractor right now that did the same thing, and he got $425,000 doing a $200 job, and invoicing for $3,000. That was even wrong.
Yeah, well, I know what you're talking about. We already had a conversation about it. But yeah, so. Well, no, it's not that guy. You know, but it's another guy. But we keep tabs on, we kept tabs on him too. So, you know, but the issue here is that, you know, we paid this guy a lot of money not to report stuff to TCQ, which he wasn't. You know, so yeah.
We should work together instead of pinpointing who
And yet you don't, you don't tell me anything. We had, after one of the meetings, me and you talked some stuff. Me and you had a talk.
Good point, Evan.
We had a talk.
And it was about this letter.
And we had a talk.
And it was about this letter. And all the invoices. And you didn't know anything about this letter. You said, let me see the letter. Let me see what you're talking about. Let me see the letter. So I had to show you. You know, I mean, so, I mean, it just, you know.
CDP cash council authorized them to cash as needed. Instead of looking as he talked about, that you should take it to the public investment committee to spend the CDs. And I would always do that, and we remember this.
Well, I think we're just, I mean.
And I know you catch one too also.
Oh, no, we had to prove public council.
Well, you did, you catch one that.
For the wastewater treatment plant.
But you went straight to the back because we had, what was it, we had some people with it. But we had agreed that to do it as needed, and is that mayor?
No, the CD that we cashed out was put into a separate account to pay for the repairs to the wastewater treatment plant. And then we had a CD that matured. Yeah, we did. So it's an account we had. Yeah.
You spend money that you're paying back, borrow.
No, because once we got our stuff back in order, we were paying for the repairs out of the regular budget. So I understand.
Easy, that should have came from council, but if you look at the state comptroller laws, it says that it's.
So it was for street funds for street repairs and stuff that we needed to do, so, you know. So, anyway, what are we talking about? Not pointing fingers, but you're pointing fingers. You know, about things that I was doing to try to get, you know, the city back on the right, to get a financial.
I was announced today on the H2O water restrictions.
Yeah, we're going to stage 2. Yeah, we reached out to some people. We reached out to the county. We reached out to the county. Oh, region, hold on, region 11, TNL. Something. Yeah. Yeah, the BC said you guys want to go to that one, it's here in Portland, I think, so. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second? Adjourn.